That's a little loud. Woo! Here we go. Welcome back to the Uintah Basement. Woo! Do you got an echo?
No, I'm good.
Okay, it was me. Welcome back to the Uintah Basement. I'm your host, the Mighty Quinn, out here in the middle of nowhere land. Yeah. You love it? You love it? Mm-hmm. I come to you with the lovely Doni Arnold. Yeah.
Yep. Hi.
How you doing?
Donnie's back.
Donnie's back. Back again.
Donnie's back.
There you go. Back again.
Oh, see, and bumping it already.
The host of Uintah Basin Sports and Sorts.
Sports and Sorts.
So I need to listen to this one because I actually haven't.
This is a great one. This one's so much better than ours.
I don't know about
He's got a lot more going on.
Yours is eventful.
Yeah, Mr. Mark Winterton.
I actually have been listening quite a bit to yours. It keeps me awake while I drive at night.
It's fun.
Oh, all right.
So I listen to it when I'm returning home from, because I do the football games for KSL on Friday nights, which I love. But on the way home, I'm always tired.
Right.
And so I go to your new episode.
Yeah.
Because like the last one you were on, Donnie. It was like 2 hours long.
That was a long one. Did it?
Yeah, that's where we bring
What do you get reviewed on?
It's just how many people are listening. And,
Cool.
The views.
Yeah, the
Okay,
views.
gotcha.
Downloads, I guess, is what it is.
Cool.
Okay. Well, so I mean, it was 2 hours long, but allowed me to.
Jason's problem.
Yeah, it was okay because I listened to it the whole time. It really did. It kept me awake.
That's kind of how I feel about the same thing. Like I start listening to it, and I'm like, you just kind of feel like you're part of that conversation. That's why.
Well, and I could liken. I went to school with you guys, even though you were 3 years older than me or whatever. And so
we didn't put you in the trash can or anything. No, I put you in the trash can.
I doubt it. I was probably 100 pounds.
So were we.
I was back then, believe it or not. Yeah, it's good stuff. Like I like listening to, like just being able to keep me awake. And I now go to like podcasts before I go to music.
There's no good music.
I know.
There's
no good new music. Maybe some, but I like.
It's hard to find good new music.
I'm so sick of rap right now. Like the new rap that's out there. I'm like, this isn't even. That takes no talent.
You know what I've been looking at is European stuff, the European rock, because they've still been stuck.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
Volbeat is awesome.
Okay.
Danish.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
I love Volbeat.
I need to see them in concert.
Oh, I've seen them 9 times.
9 times?
9 times,
wow.
Yes.
That's like a date.
We got married and went to a Volbeat concert that night. Uncle Jim and I. We got married, went to a Volbeat concert that night. And that's kind of actually what brought us together was Volbeat.
I love Volbeat.
He put on a song and he's like, do you know this song? And I'm like, yeah, Volbeat. And he's like, you know Volbeat? And I'm like,
the sound is awesome because they have that different voice.
Right.
Oh, he's
awesome.
Voice.
Michael Poulsen. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
They're Danish.
Yes.
Danish.
Yeah. You need to go see them. They were out a few months ago, actually. Not very long ago.
Yeah, like
but they come
Wednesday,
quite a bit.
Like on a Wednesday.
It was a weird day.
It's really hard to get out in the city on Wednesday and work the next day.
Right.
Well, so there's some pretty good bands out of Germany. I want to say Sweden, Switzerland. Anyways, check out Goddard. Goddard's the one I mentioned to you. They did a Mighty Quinn. They did a Mighty Quinn.
Isn't that the name of the dog on Jimmy Neutron? Goddard?
It might be.
I don't know.
Goddard. That's a different name. Like
it's spelled Gottard.
H-O-R-D.
Got hard.
Oh.
All right.
I see where that's going. I see.
That's why I like to say. I don't know how exactly it's pronounced, but I just say Goddard.
I like it. Let's go with Goddard.
There's another one that's he's got a voice of a little bit of Iron Maiden.
Oh.
It's Ed Guy.
That's the name of it? Or is it a person?
No.
Is that a person's name?
Really? That is not the dumbest name in the world, but maybe it is.
I wish I could speak another language. I wish I knew it. Some of these have got to have meaning.
When I was on B92, I came across a lot of them because people would refer...
Somebody wants you to
somebody is like, hey, Mark, answer the phone already.
What is this?
It's on vibrate, and it's just vibrating away.
Yeah.
He's putting it right here.
Put it right down there. At least that'll go to good.
Call again. Call one more time.
Yeah. No, I spent a lot of time back and forth requesting to you before it went to the Jack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jack FM's not bad.
I don't
kind of like
mind
it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, because that's kind of how my playlists are anyway.
Right.
Well, it does. It plays some of the songs, and some of the songs I requested when you started it, they're coming into like the fold of it, and I start listening to it, and I was like, "This is the Interrupters. Who listens to the Interrupters? I heard it's punk music."
Right.
Yeah, that's the Jack.
Yeah, the Jack.
See, and I sent you that I have a dysfunctional playlist for sure. Like, all of my stuff just goes from one weird thing, not even weird. I mean, it's good music. It just goes from Disney to the Proclaimers to metals to
It's right.
Volbeat.
Right. Some Disney, little Eminem.
Right.
Coming up next.
Right? That's the way it goes.
That's how yours is.
Yes.
I can listen to a little rap. I can't sit and listen to it all day though.
Me either.
It's like, okay, there's got to be something else just to set me off, because music's memories.
Who's your favorite rapper? Like,
Oh, I like Ice-T. I don't know,
Right.
just from like his older years.
Why is it Ice-T? It's because that's when he was in high school.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned this through the radio, is you tend to remember music, your memories.
Right, it's connected to
That's
emotions.
a
It's connected
specific
to those
time in your life.
It's
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There's stuff that comes on that I'm like, I am back in Sean McDonald's Ranger.
Oh, I owned that Ranger once.
And listening to Nirvana or Metallica or
No
whatever.
kids were made in that Ranger, just so you guys know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Did you ask Donnie?
There was none made in that Ranger. I'm going to verify that right now. No, none made. No swingers there either.
No. Welcome to the Basin.
I found out what a upside pineapple is listening to your podcast.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had no idea.
Afterwards, I go, was there a hidden meaning with the freaking pineapple, Jason? Like, I was like, what does that... I had no idea.
I actually looked it up.
Did you?
I had to. I was like, wait, what does that mean? So I looked it up.
Well, I hadn't heard any before, but he kept saying this pineapple thing, and I was like, what is that? And I just didn't ask, and I'm like, so that's how you know I am not a swinger. Thank you.
So
people.
when you're in Stewart's and you're walking around with your basket and you buy a pineapple with your husband,
Make sure it doesn't...
turn it over just to mess with him. And see if he knows.
Seriously? I doubt he does.
Stick it upside down on the top
And
part of
push
the
the
cart.
cart around and everybody will be looking at you like...
Well, now I'm going to be looking for it.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
do too. You look on the
I
bumper
buy
stickers.
pineapples all the time. Probably
have
like
you seen it?
tipped over.
Have you seen anything like that?
I've seen it in Salt Lake.
Okay.
And all at once, if you watch some of the
You've seen bumper stickers.
bumper stickers, and if you watch like that new Sing 2, that the kids love.
Yes. That's one of my new favorites.
That pig comes out and he's got the pajamas and they're all pineapples.
They are.
Upside down?
Yeah, there's so many adult innuendos in that thing, and you're like, wow.
The pig is a swinger.
I did not know.
Swing.
They have a lot of kids going on there too.
I really didn't like Sing. Sing 1 or Sing 2. And I didn't watch it all.
Sing 2.
I was
like
like,
it better.
I do too. And I was like, I want to go to that show. I think that was a great show. Like, you know what? I want to see that show in Vegas is what I told my husband.
I mean, obviously the music is your
Right.
more hip, popular stuff.
Right.
So that's...
Now stuff.
Right. But it was
Other than
still good.
Sting.
I didn't follow the storyline, I guess.
It was Sting that was the lion that they were
No,
trying to
it was Bono.
Bono.
Yeah, it was Bono.
Same guy.
It's all right. Yeah, you know. Both old as shit.
My daughter likes to watch it, so maybe I'll watch it with her.
I really thought it was cute. I was like, I enjoyed it much more than I enjoyed the first one.
Uh-huh.
That's just me. But I love...
I tried watching the second one. I had to buy it. The other one's free right now if you have it in like
Did I buy it? I might have bought it.
Well, I bought
On
it.
Amazon, I bought
Amazon.
it. You want to know what show I love the music to? Is Peaky Blinders, though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who those... we've been watching it, rewatching it again this just because we got to watch the new season and I want to refresh it. So we've had all the captions on.
I'm caught up.
Are you caught up?
Yeah.
Oh, is it good?
Oh, it is.
Am I going to hate it? Am I going to love it? Like love-hate relationship?
You're going to love it.
Okay.
I can't tell you anymore because it'll be like spoiler.
I've watched everything but the new season, so I need to get the new season. But yeah, we're catching up, and we're have all the captions on. So here I am going, who's this PJ Harvey? Whoever PJ Harvey is, he's kind of cool.
Peaky Blinders. It's
You had to look it up.
Are they mafia?
Oh gosh, it's
pretty much.
Yeah,
it's a
gang.
European thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know the one guy that the lead actor in it.
He reminds me of my son.
He's in a lot. He was in.
He looks just like him.
Wasn't he in Batman?
Yes, he's the Scarecrow.
Yeah, Scarecrow.
I hated that show because he was
evil as hell.
He was in Red Eye.
Yeah.
Red Eye. That was a messed up show too.
Yeah, that one was messed up.
I love him in the show. I love him in Peaky Blinders. I really do. I love his character. He's one of those people that you're a total dickhead, but I love you.
It's a season, right?
Oh yeah.
And then there's
six.
There's 6 seasons already.
So.
Oh man,
it's
and
been
it
out
takes
for a while.
2 years to build them because they're
so good.
Well,
and I think they were going to release
behind.
their last season during quarantine, and so they shut it all down, and they're just barely getting it released.
I bought one of those hats.
Did you?
I was going to sport it tonight. I've been meaning to do it on the podcast. I was like, we got to bring them back.
Speaking of the pandemic. I did ask. So I had the superintendent on my.
Oh, okay. Let's hear.
Nice.
What did you say?
I asked him.
What did you ask?
Well, I asked him if masks would ever be required again.
Oh, what did he say?
He said where they are federally funded,
Possibly.
Then yeah.
Part of the reason I homeschooled my kids the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm just you know what? I can do this, and I did, and it's not something I would have ever done before. But my daughter, legit. I was at the meeting where I'm she has full-on panic attack now. Oh my gosh, can't speak. Panic attacks now.
That's my rule all the time. I can't ever say it right.
Oh my gosh, my mouth never reads.
Because of masks?
Because it was part of it. It was part of the whole thing, going to school, not knowing what's going on in the world. There's a lot of chaos happening, and you put a mask on my child who was having panic attacks, and she couldn't breathe, and she would do this every morning. I had to drag her out of the car. So I was one of those people at that meeting going, tell me what's expected. And I didn't lose my mind, but I was you guys can't tell me that it's not affecting my kids because it's affecting my daughter.
Was this the one that was 1st of September?
It was. Were you there?
Yeah, was this where Wilkerson got drug out?
Yeah. That was really interesting.
I was there. I got up and talked to him.
Okay, because I don't remember because I had I don't usually do this kind of stuff.
I didn't have any kids in school. So.
I did, and I was this is a pain, and I can't do this right now.
Wow.
So, and I'm I do think that they serve their purposes for certain things. I will respect people. I will wear it in your business if that's what you want me to do. I'm also going, you've got to understand, it really is having an effect on my child. And I had my other child who wore them, got impetigo because he had strep throat. And so he started getting the sores on his face because he's wearing the mask. And they were on his ears, they were everywhere. And I posted a picture of it just because I was so mad. I'm this is this is happening. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That got kind of went viral in its own little sense, and I was don't do this to me. It was awful. I get traumatic. I don't want to have people yell at me. I respect you. You respect me. It's all good.
Let's go back to the science. That was my big thing.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Right? Anyways.
No, you're good.
That's why. Anyways, it was a question that had been asked, and so I asked the superintendent. Anyways, but that one will come out, I think, Sunday.
Oh, cool.
So we're on it. We're going to listen to that one.
So I try to keep those podcasts about 25 minutes.
Those are good podcasts. I mean, for 25 minutes, it keeps the audience in. You go over an hour, and you start losing a little bit of an audience. What I noticed.
Right. Well, some of them I'm like, oh, I could have used like half an hour more of that.
Sometimes, if it's really good content and things are rolling, you can see the chemistry and you keep
it going.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like music. I mean, you do music. You want the crowd wanting more.
Right.
You want to be done and then leave them wanting more.
Right.
And so I figure 25 minutes is good, but also KVEL, so I air that show on KVEL Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Mm-hmm. And so they asked 25 minutes, and I'm like, that's perfect.
Not good for me. I don't have to.
It's easy. It's easy to come up with content to ask.
Well, especially you try interviewing a student.
That's hard.
And to get 25 minutes out of that student.
Oh yeah.
You have to have a student that's.
You're trying.
You got to be the right. It's got to be the right student.
Marley got interviewed for a podcast. It was her senior year. They called it was Crown Sports was what it was called. I have no idea really.
Well, I want to say I had Marley on B92.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, and Mars can talk about it all day. Like, but still, you have to understand they're like teenagers, and they talk like teenagers, and sometimes they get tripped up on what they're talking about and don't know how much to say. But I was super proud of that girl. I was like, good job. Like, you did a good job talking about what you do, and you weren't like arrogant. You weren't.
Well, the good interviewer is going to be able to get the best out of them. But and I try to come up with that stuff.
You do brilliant, man. I listen to it.
I need to listen to it. So what kind of people do you have on there? Like just
so it's basically anyone that has to do with the school systems, school, sports. Here in the Basin. Cool. So you got Altamont. I mean, I haven't hit anyone up from Tabiona, but you got Altamont High School, Duchesne High School. You've got Uintah River, and then Uintah.
See, and I need to listen because I'm kind of a sports fanatic. I just don't like.
It's fun. It's giving these kids a platform.
Right.
I think you'd really enjoy the one that's just released.
Okay.
Have you listened to it?
Who's on it?
It's Kylie Arnold.
Yeah, I listened to it.
Kylie Arnold.
She did a really good job. And the injury that she had, and to overcome it, that's awesome.
I need to send you a picture.
Where's she from?
Vernal.
Yeah, okay. I don't know her. She's not related.
Well, she looks like the Arnold girls.
Does she?
Yeah, she looks like Joe's kids.
Does she?
Yeah. So her parents are Cody and Melanie.
Cody and Melanie Arnold.
Let me show you these pictures.
There's a few Arnolds here.
I know. Like I legit don't run into them very often.
Wow.
Am I gonna?
She did really well.
Yes.
She did really well being where she's at right now.
What did she play? What did she play?
Soccer.
ACL tear? What?
No.
Oh, was it compact fracture? Something like that?
Wow.
Like
I couldn't imagine.
Look at that. Doesn't that look like Frankenstein?
Oh yeah. And she rebounded and she's doing swell on that.
Do you want to see him? I won't show you.
Just tell me what it is first so I know what to expect.
Blood and gore.
What?
Blood and gore, ripped apart.
Boat prop.
Yeah, boat prop.
Cut through her leg.
Oh my gosh, you're joking. Okay, so
no.
I have a story.
Okay.
Dave pushed me off a boat once.
That son of a bitch.
I know, asshole. I was like, we're out in the middle, because we used to, that's all we did in the summer. Like, we would load up Adam Gardner's boat, and we would go out.
Prue and Osler, complete jokesters.
I know, right?
I mean, I remember him as a freshman on the football field, just complete jokesters.
Oh, absolutely. They're always so funny. Like, that's what I remember the most about them. They were always so funny. I'm like, you always laugh when you're around Jason.
But were they ever serious?
Not very often. Dave is pretty serious now.
I lived with Jason. He's pretty serious. He's one of those guys that's like, you don't mess with the morning. He's like...
I actually sitting here with him the other night, I'm like, you're actually a lot more serious than I thought you were.
He's pretty serious.
He's pretty...
Love you, Jason. High school days, though.
Okay, all right.
I'm trying to move this around.
Right? No serious.
Do whatever you need.
I just feel like I need to turn this way.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
I thought you were going to, like, turn it around backwards.
I'm getting old now. My neck's keen to, slap on my neck wrong. So.
I'm moving everything around, trying to figure out where everybody just feels comfortable.
Right. Well, this is good. I just feel like now I can see you both. I like it. Okay. Sorry, not to get off
story. Back to the boating story.
Oh, yeah. So, Dave, I'm like, we're standing on the edge of the boat and, getting ready. I don't know if I was jumping in or what I was doing, but he decided he should push me off, and I landed... Luckily, they had cut the propeller, but I landed right on the engine, and it, sliced my leg open, and I came up, and I had to go get stitches, all the good things, but anyway.
The engine wasn't running, you just hit the propeller.
Yeah. It wasn't running. They just cut it, but I hit it, and it was
sliced.
So I don't even want to see that. Like that's
no, you want to see that.
No, you don't want to see that. She did pretty well for what she's done.
And can I just ask what happened there? I love boating. Yeah. I am scared to death that somebody's going to hit me now.
Listen to the podcast.
Okay, I will. But
we talk about that. Oh! We talk about it.
Okay.
I let her go into a little detail.
Okay, cool. So, I'm going to go listen to it. I will be listening to that tomorrow with my.
So I have another podcast, but I don't know if I want to mention it because it's mostly just my family that listens.
Well, let's hear. What is it? Go ahead.
It's called My Crazy Family.
Oh.
Because everybody has crazy family members, or at least crazy ideas. Something crazy, right? And we haven't gotten too crazy yet.
Oh, no. I think that's a great idea. I think my family is pretty.
So it's interviews with different members of my family.
And you can get them on there. See, mine are like,
there's no way.
Well, so far I've just started with my kids, and then I've just barely introduced my brothers.
Oh,
fun. But I mean, I've got nephews, and we've got tons of stuff to go. So, anyways.
I keep telling my brother he needs to start a podcast because he's in the dating scene right now, so of course on the dating apps.
So that's what I've got a nephew.
This is how you get to know this podcast.
I've got a nephew that does the exact same thing. So that's what we talk about specific. He characterizes him in his phone, right?
Okay.
As conspiracy girl, or do you know what I mean?
The people he gets are all catfish. They're legit catfish people, and he just keeps it going.
So he
wants to see how much. No. He's not actually met any of them. Almost all of them are looking for the money and trying. One of them sent him pizza to his house. I'm like, you gave them your address? Are you insane? And he's like, they were going to send me pizza to make sure that I was real. And I'm like, you're that's dangerous.
So they thought he was catfishing.
No. So this person, I gotta tell you the story.
Was a guy.
This person you never met probably was a man, but he said they were telling him that they were the heir to Patterson. I can't remember. Anyways, it was a big oil-filled name. Okay. And that they had $100 million or something like that locked in a locker somewhere, and that all he needed to do was just go to the locker and pick it up. That's all he needed to do.
I'm sure.
They sent him a $5,000 check in the mail. He called the bank to see if it would clear, and the bank's like, that will clear. So he was like, it will okay, so they did. She sent a check, and so then he called this company. I wish I could remember.
Why did she send him a check?
I think to try. I don't know. I don't get it.
Was he sending her dirty pictures?
No, he wasn't. Well, he probably was. I'm not gonna lie. This is my brother. But anyway, he has so many different stories. I'm like, you need to start a podcast about your catfishing stories because they're hilarious and they're
dating
nuts.
Jason Osler and I
dating
do
podcasts
this
be hilarious
on Snapchat. You get once in a while they'll add a friend.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you have the friend, they're like, follow us on OnlyFans.
I get them.
But sometimes
you get guys.
Hey baby.
For women.
Yes.
Hey baby, where you at right now? Well, I'm over here on 7th Avenue. How about you? Pretty close to the area. And you're like, so, you want to hook up or what? Jason is great at this. He's like, I'm over here on North Temple right now, and I want to go downtown.
She's like, at the Home Depot.
She's not even around here. He's like, do you want to meet up at the Maverick? What's the Maverick?
I thought you were from here.
Yeah, but
you don't know where that is?
This is entertaining for Jason to do.
Yeah, he
entertains himself to be able to carry on some story with some person that does or doesn't exist.
The awesome thing is he shares it with me, so I get so much fun out of it.
It is fun when you hear all those stories. You're like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could just keep somebody going. After a while, I'd start feeling guilty and being like, I need to.
Best. Have you ever received a text from somebody that you're
all the time. Once a week.
Really?
Yeah, you don't get the group text where it's like, hey.
But have you?
No, it's the one that's like, hey, I got the wrong number pretty much.
Yeah.
But who are you?
No, I actually got a text. It was a drunk text. And it was somebody that lived in Ballard.
For somebody else, though?
No, I didn't have the number saved. in my phone.
But it was meant for you.
No, it wasn't meant for me. It was meant. They. I got to remember it, and I wish
I'd like to request a song.
No, I was. They were drunk texting supposedly their friend's girlfriend or or friend's wife or something.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm responding back, and I'm like, you got the wrong number. Oh, you've done this, and it was they carried it on. And I said, well, tell me where you live. I'll come over and we'll talk this out. And anyways, I got enough information that I know where they lived.
That's awesome.
And I was
right
like,
here in this neighborhood.
It was actually the north.
He's knocking on my door.
It was north Ballard.
The Peaks.
Yes, and so
I know a few people that live there.
it would be fun to drive over there and see exactly
Knock
who
on
this
the
is.
door.
I think they gave me the address.
Oh my gosh.
I'm here. I brought Doritos.
I think they
People
gave me
are
the
crazy.
address.
I'm not giving my address to anybody that I don't know.
Well, it was complete.
It also comes along with my line of work. I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's not happening. But
Well, no woman should.
Right.
No.
I agree.
No, it's really weird because I sent you my phone number. I was like, here's my digits.
You know what? I was going to say, thanks, Quinn, because I actually have been going like, you know what? I don't get notified I have all my notifications for Instagram, Facebook, everything just off.
Yeah.
I don't even want to, if I get
night.
on and I look, then it's fine. If I see it, it's fine. So I'm like, I needed to send you, I was actually going to ask. It wasn't weird. I won't be texting you in the middle of the night. You don't need to worry about it.
I got compressors that go off, and I can actually understand. It's like, hey, that compressor went off. Oh, it's Doni.
And you know who's really good at those texts, though? Like, people texting is Jen Rook. She will keep it going and going to the point where they're like, there's been some legit things where she's like, okay, maybe I should stop this one now. Like, I shouldn't keep this one going.
We should probably land Jen Rook in here, huh?
She'd be good.
She's, she's one of my great friends. Jen's one of my loyal friends.
She'd give you
the girls all played softball together. My nieces all played softball with you.
Oh yeah, Addie.
Your girls.
Love Addie.
Yeah.
She went to college with Marley.
Yep.
She was up there the last year. Poor girl.
She's working on her knee right now. Yeah.
That was a really, really tough year for them because
did Allie and Marley go to the?
Allie and Marley, Mesa, Delcy. Brindy was supposed to go. Brindy didn't end up going, and then Addie came 2 years later.
Yep. And they all went to the same school.
All went to the same school.
But
it was
they
a
got
great
up
chemistry.
They'd been there a year, and then the pandemic
They
hit.
weren't even there a year. Like, it was the year they got there. So they started their season. Pandemic hit, shut everything down. They came home because there wasn't any point in them staying up there. They went up the next year. They gave them their eligibility, but then even the next year, eligibility didn't even count because it was the coming back year. Yeah. And so they all went up there. They're such a good team. That's the thing. Those girls have played together since they were little.
Did the pandemic kill a lot of hope in kids?
I think so.
I mean, because they went to play,
well,
but they could have gotten a degree at the same time, but it kind of...
Well, here's
it's a bummer,
this is my situation that I can speak to for Marley. She went up to there, she played, she got 2 extra years of eligibility, which she didn't want to go to a 2-year college for 4 years. I mean, she's like, okay, here I am, like, I've already done all the classes I can.
Yeah.
But she could actually, like, get the, well, no, what's it called? What's the person in charge of sports? Tell me their name. What's their title?
Director?
Thank you. I want to say AD, but I'm thinking
dean,
right.
The dean.
So the athletic director, all she had to do was just get a paper sign that said, you know what, you don't have to take your classes, you just have to take one class and you're fine. So that's all she really needed to take the 3rd year, so she didn't have to go and take like classes she didn't need.
She could have gone to a 4-year college though, right?
But that's the thing. So the college coach that she had was amazing. He was a really good coach. He got offered a job at Dixie. Basically said, I'm coming, but I want you to let me bring Marley with me next year. And talked to Marley and was like, we want to have you. And then it got to the point where he got up there, and here we are with COVID, right? Yeah. We have our COVID seniors that have extra eligibility years, but yet Dixie's D1, so they're recruiting, years and years in advance, and they have all these people that they've recruited, so they have their COVID recruits, and they're stuck with huge rosters because they don't have anybody graduating because you've got your COVID seniors and you got all your COVID recruits. So Marley, who is All-American first team couldn't play in a 4-year college because you have too many COVID seniors, too many COVID recruits. And it's ridiculous because she could have
got left out.
She did. She just got, and this girl has spent her whole life playing softball, and it's what she loves. It's not even like mom pushed her to do it.
You want to get that scholarship to go.
Right.
You don't want to have to pay if you can get a scholarship, but...
And they did say, you can walk on and you'll probably get the scholarship, but by then she's just like, I'm kind of beat down, like I'm really disappointed that this is what I have to do to be able to live this dream. But it was awesome. Those girls went up there and they played their butts off. This year sucked. They got their coach taken away.
How ridiculous to imply those things for a sport that's played outside.
Right.
Yeah.
That was frustrating.
I'm with you.
Right.
Yeah. I think almost most people in the Basin agree with you. But
I was on the essentials. I had to go to work. The most time I wore with a mask is actually just going on one of Brent's tours.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I think I heard you say, I listened to a podcast the other day where I heard you say that in Mexico, right?
Yeah, we went to the Yucatan with him and we wore masks completely all the way there. As soon as you get into tourist areas, you got to wear them. That's Mexico.
Right.
I went to Mexico in 2021. We went to Cancun.
How was it then?
We wore them. It was the spring of 2021.
Wear them through transit, but as soon as you get to the resorts, you're fine.
We really didn't. Yeah, and they would always ask us to put them on when we were at the resort, and they
almost stopped the flight on us.
We just didn't. I got kicked off.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh gosh, Mark.
I did.
I'm getting kicked off. I will not. You're one of those people who is like, I am sticking to my guns.
No, I actually had put the mask on, but apparently I'd said something, and maybe I said it aggressively. I don't know.
Is that the Winterton in you?
Yeah, maybe. And
what was the podcast called again?
My crazy family.
My crazy family.
She said she felt threatened, and hey, once you feel threatened, boy,
it's over.
Yeah, you're done.
You don't threaten people, especially on an airplane. You should know better.
I was with my brother, his wife, and my wife, and I told them, just sit down and stay, and they're like, I guess we're coming with you.
Well, so you just got another flight, went on another flight, like
yeah, but I was definitely
airline?
Nope, same airline. They did warn me though.
Yeah, I'm surprised you weren't on the news. Like, that's kind of shit that happens.
You don't say a word.
You're in the back of the bus.
Or you're done. We'll give you your money back. You find a way back home.
The only reason he wasn't on the news is because he works for KSL. And they killed the story.
We don't want to do this.
They killed it.
Wash out.
Okay, hold on. I don't work for KSL.
Okay, you do work for KSL.
Contract, yes. I just do football games Friday night.
How awesome is that, though?
That's really cool.
How quick do you have to be to call that game? I mean, you're watching it and you're like, oh, I missed something.
So I'm definitely not perfect. Yeah, do the high school game. So like this week I'm doing I gotta remember. I'm doing Highland, Arizona at Lone Peak.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Highland, Arizona?
Mm-hmm. Last week I did Rigby at American Fork.
Oh, cool.
Next week I think I do American Fork at Corner Canyon.
Okay.
So some fun games.
Yeah.
I mean, those are your top 4 corners in the city.
Do you do the local ones as well, or do you just have to? Probably not anymore. You used to.
No, just the ones that KSL.
Right.
KSL's on.
Darn.
That's awesome.
Why can't we get some of our local stuff going? We're just not big enough anymore. I think we just don't have the... I can't say anymore.
I would do the local ones. It's fun to do the local ones because I enjoy interacting and knowing. I mean, a lot of the kids, I know them. And so it's fun to do those games. Yeah. But I enjoy there's definitely more talent.
You do have to be so quick, though. Like, I think about it, I'm like, I don't even know that kid. You'd have to kind of be... You'd have to be a lot more on the ball than my brain is.
I do it in front of the TV, and it's like, first and third.
That's
well, the hardest thing is spotting. I have to spot those numbers myself and then know who that is,
Right.
And so that's probably the toughest thing.
And know who the number...
See, that's my thing.
Yeah, they don't have their jersey number. Their
name on the back of their jersey, so you just got to remember.
Yeah. We didn't have that in high school either. Our names on the back of our jerseys.
And I'm doing different teams every week. Not every week, but mostly. Like, I did American Fork last week, and that was the second time doing them, so I knew some of the kids. But usually I can remember, I get them down within the first
So did you call some Jackson Dart stuff down there in Corner Canyon?
I never did any Corner Canyon the year that Jackson Dart was there.
Is that Brandon's kid?
Yeah.
I knew that he was...
I want to say that, that's Brandon's.
Okay.
He's playing for Ole Miss. Did you watch the game Saturday?
Cool. He is?
He's playing for Ole Miss. He's playing for
Ole Miss.
He switched colleges?
Mm-hmm. Transferred. Got in the transfer portal. When Riley got the job at USC, he brought his own quarterback with him. Mm-hmm. And so he went into the transfer portal, and now he's with Lane Kiffin down there at... a Corral kid, the quarterback that was quarterbacking for Ole Miss, went into the NFL. So... Anyways, Jackson started against.
That's so cool.
Trying to remember who Ole Miss played.
I don't know because I don't.
It's hard to follow.
Oh, it's Troy.
I know. I love college. I actually prefer to watch college than I do like
I'm an old NFL.
And I love football. I love football. I love all sports.
Yeah, tomorrow night the Bills and the Rams.
Bills and the Rams.
Do you play fantasy football?
No, I tried once.
I used to as well.
I couldn't stick with it.
Irritated me.
Are you doing it?
Oh, I've been doing it for a year. We have a little family league, and friends league. Right. In fact, we just I thought, man, I should have invited you because we expanded our league to 10. We were eight teams. Man, we expanded to 10.
I love it.
I'll let you know if we expand again. Okay. But anyways, no, it's fantasy. A lot of people say, oh, it ruins the sport of it. The people cheering for a team because now you're cheering for players.
Now you got all of them. You kind of, I kind of like that about it. Yeah, you got someone from each team, so you kind of have a reason to be watching.
You have some skin in every game, right?
I'm married to Uncle Judd, who has a
Dolphins.
Oh, they have a fantasy.
All of them are Dolphin fans.
They do a fantasy league.
Oh, they do. We have a family one.
I helped Tommy build that trophy. Well, I don't really know if I helped him.
Western Chemical.
Yeah. So Tommy built that trophy, and
it's hilarious. Like I got to the point where I was like, okay, we're not doing fantasy anymore because this really irritates Uncle Judd to like no end. And I got sick of him yelling at Chris Collinsworth to shut his mouth. You just shut your fucking mouth right now, and you don't know what he's talking about. And I'd be like, stop.
You're like, calm down.
Uncle Judd.
Football's not going to be allowed in this house.
Oh, I'm the yeller at my house. My grandson, he comes in there and he goes, go, 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 go. And he at 2 years old, he was doing that.
He was watching you.
He's
awesome. Watching me.
So this is kind of off the subject, but this is why my brain bounces sometimes. I watch, my kids have played every sport possible. Marley was also a volleyball player. Have you ever noticed watching, well, maybe you guys aren't this way. I've decided that when you're watching volleyball and you're into it, it kind of sounds like an orgasm. You're going, so no shit though, no shit. Like you're like, okay, he's got it now. Okay.
Tennis is the same way, man.
Kill! And I'm going, oh my gosh. Sorry.
Couldn't that be wrestling too?
Tennis is the build-up. Tennis is the build-up, though.
I noticed. Do you do that? But in tennis, don't you have to be quiet?
Have you ever seen?
Are you watching it at home? And this is like me sitting on the bench watching
That's people actually playing in tennis.
I know, but it's what I've seen so many things on YouTube. It's like, I never knew.
See, but I'll get into it. I'll be like, oh my gosh. Okay, everything's all right. Okay, stop. Anyway, sorry, I'm not, but that's legit how it is when I'm watching volleyball.
That's what this podcast is for.
It makes me think of the wrestler moms. Have you ever seen it? Have you had any boys wrestle?
So my boys wrestled, but my little boys have like really tender. Weston, who's like my most competitive child, he wrestled his friends and he had the hardest time. Like, I can't hurt my friends, Mom. So I was like, okay, you don't have to wrestle. That's the one thing I was like, I won't. But they did for a little while.
I remember.
And I was a wrestling manager. Like, I know wrestling. I
remember wrestler moms that would not be able to watch their children.
I couldn't watch Weston play football.
They would leave.
I couldn't. I walked.
I coached.
Would you walk?
I would walk. I was at the end zone, walking back and forth, pacing, like panicking. I was so superstitious.
He was so fun to watch.
Weston was he was an amazing football player. He could have been recruited if he decided not to go.
His heart was in it.
He really, you know what?
I mean, and he had the talent, and he had the size.
He did, and he was just
because that's when I actually used to.
I do remember that. I do remember that. I would get up during the games. I I can like panic right now thinking about how much I would panic watching him play.
You're getting anxiety just thinking about it now.
Because we're so competitive. Like, we're so competitive. And I'm a little bit superstitious, so I'd be like, I had new babies then, right? Because I had kids later. And I had my babies, and I'd be like, what underwear did he wear last week? They won the game. Okay, I need to find those underwear. Do I need to get the Batman shirt? Was he wearing the Batman shirt, or was he wearing the Union shirt? Like, I legit am that person. I have a great, great friend. Love her. She's a Raiders fan. Okay.
Raiders fan.
So are my brothers. Why Raiders? Well, we lived in Anaheim for a little while. So my brother's like, anyway, she is the same way. Like, so superstitious that if they start losing, she'll take off her pants. Like, she's got to take her pants off. And so she goes to a Raiders game this year.
I'm very bad with my team.
Did you say this is a sister?
This is a friend. She's a great friend of mine. She's not my sister.
Why do we get superstitious on this stuff?
If you have her over, does she take off your pants in front of the family?
She does not. Sorry. Well, what I said to her, because she went to a Raiders game in no, it was Vegas now, because they're in Vegas, right? Yeah. I said, if they start losing, you can't take off your pants at the stadium. And she's like, the hell I can't. I will do it if I need to.
Has it worked? It obviously has worked.
It has worked in the past, but she's funny. She's like, okay, pants are coming off. And I'm like, you have to stay at home every time you watch a Raiders game.
I am the same way, though.
Are you?
The hat goes backwards.
Right.
And they start doing better.
Flip it upside down, turn it backwards.
And then
I'm that way. And I have to have like this certain vibe going on with me. I can tell you, like, I'll go into the game and I'll be like, okay, it's a good game day. It's a good day. I can feel it, right? Yeah. And then there were times with Weston where they came so close so many times that I just was like, it was heartbreaking to me, and I'm like, I can't watch this, I can't watch it. So I would be at the end zone, and I would listen for the crowd, and I'd be like, oh.
Were you the same way with basketball?
Yeah, not as much with basketball, because I think they loved it, but it wasn't the sport that they loved, right?
They looked really good in their last game that he ever played, right?
Football or basketball?
Basketball.
Yeah.
That was against Bear River.
And the thing is, for him that year was, he played, but he had a Jones fracture on his foot, and so he didn't get to play most of the season.
He didn't come in until
the very end, and it was fine. Like, he's good enough that he lettered and everything. Like, I'm proud of my kids because they worked hard.
And then
my kids earned their freaking spots. They earned them.
In baseball, he played catcher.
He played catcher and he played outfield. He was so. This is Weston. He absolutely has ADD. He's never been diagnosed, but I just barely got diagnosed, and I'm 46 years old.
He had a
I'm on Adderall. Yes. Sorry.
They didn't call him Weston.
Stony.
So that was the group of kids I grew up with.
Started with.
Those were the ones that I called every football game, every basketball game, and every baseball game.
Yep.
And so I kind of went up through all of those, and so I knew a lot of those kids.
Yeah, and Alex was just as good. Alex was just like, for Alex, he's
my son's age.
Right, him and Josh, are the same age. And Alex, he was my child that worked. He was so dedicated to everything he did. Like, he would get off the bus as a little kid, go out in the front yard. We had a box on our pump house, like a little square tape to the pump house. He would throw thousands of pitches against that box.
That's awesome.
Every day. But he had to work for it. Weston had the natural talent of just like, he could go out there and he was quick. Marley was quick, but he was quick. I mean, he could just run, and you couldn't catch him, and it was effortless for him. But the
cool thing is he worked hard also.
But he gave it 150%. That was the thing with him. It wasn't just like, hey, I know I can do it. He showed up. He actually worked his ass off and did it. And then it was funny because him playing outfield, Justin DeCall was like, have you ever noticed Weston? Just watch him when he's playing outfield. Just go out there and watch him. And Weston will be doing this. Like, he'll be walking back and forth like this. Pacing. And he goes, he's like a raging bull. Like, look at that kid. And I'm like, he really is. Like,
he's the heart of the team.
So like,
of every team he was on, he was the heart.
And he's just one of those kids that's really, really quiet. He probably wouldn't say shit if he had a mouthful.
He does what he's asked to do.
Right.
And then
But he's also a hilarious kid, and that's why he's the heart of the team, because he does what he's supposed to do. He works his butt off, and he can draw you in because he's funny. He's so funny.
As a broadcaster, I could see that the part that, hey, this is a hardworking kid. He's going to do everything. I mean, you can see it. Like you say, he's pacing out in the outfield. Right. The kid is just waiting. He's ready to go, and he wants to be prepared. You can see it. And as a broadcaster, that's what I got to understand with him. Is I'm like,
right,
this is a kid that works.
And he did, and he's like he's such a good kid, and we did actually take him on a recruiting tour, but when he came home from his mission, he was like, I just don't know if I want to play football. I don't know if I want to hurt my body like that. Yeah. Like, it's tough on a kid, and it's tough on your body, so...
I have injuries from it.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and I just was like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's not... It's okay. It's fine, and... He actually got asked to coach with the call over in Vernal, and and he thought about it, and he's like, but he was in the school in Roosevelt, and it's got his program, and he's going to finish his schooling, and then who knows, maybe he'll end up coaching somewhere, because he's such a smart kid. And even Marley's been asked to start coaching in St. George. They've asked her to do a travel team. It's fun. Anyways, I'm not trying to make this about my kids, but a traveling softball team. Yeah, they've been calling. She works for a chiropractic clinic, and
that's what the title of this show is going to be, is Donnie's Kids.
You want me to write that down?
Donnie's Kids.
Donnie's Kids.
Love. But gosh, I am not like a...
You need to do your own podcast.
I just need to talk about all my children.
You guys can
my little grandbaby is out.
Anytime.
My kids are going to be like, oh, Mama, you're talking about me the whole time. Marley, though, is awesome. Like, she really did. She's been asked to coach some softball teams down there, like travel softball teams, and she's like, they asked her to do a younger league, and she's like, I don't think I can do the younger league because I'm too hard. Like, she's like, I'm too hard for them. I require way too much. And she is. That's like, good. She's like, I do require a lot. And I said, well, let's look back.
But that's good, because then kids actually start to recognize, hey, you know what?
Well, and that's why I said to her, actually, Jen Rook was her first coach, and Jen is tough as nails, right? Mm-hmm. You don't, we all know this.
Right.
Love her. She's tough as nails. You don't mess with it. And if she thinks you're slacking, she's going to jump on you. And Marley was Allie's catcher, and that's what they did forever. They ended up putting her in the outfield because she's so fast. But I was like, Marley, it's okay. Maybe it's all right. Think about what Jen was for you. Did it bother you that Jen was telling you what you needed to do then? Like, really hard on you, whatever. Sometimes kids need that. And kids nowadays need it. Yeah. And so she's like, okay, maybe I need it. I think once she gets like used to the area and people understand her and how her work ethic is.
Has she been able to coach? She's coached them a little bit.
So this is when she was up in Big Bend, up in Moses Lake this last year. They had some issues with the head coach, like so went to Dixie. Their new coach that they brought in was not a good coach.
Oh, okay.
And he actually went to her and he's like, hey, can you like put together the practice plan? She put together all the practice plans for their softball team, for the college team. And then he would come to her afterwards and be like, hey, when you get out there and you say what they're going to do, I need you to say that I told you what to do. And she's like, the hell I will. You can kiss my ass. I'm not doing that. And so I was proud of her too for being like, yeah, stand up for your work. This is your work. Don't do it. And don't give him the credit. So, and then they had another girl that came in later, but she kind of coached that college team for about, I'm going to say it was about 4 or 5 months.
Well, she has a passion for it. I think it's great to do.
Yeah.
She should pursue it.
My niece, Brooklyn, she's up the high school.
Brooklyn, she helps with Eva, and Eva's a great coach. You know what? She came back to Roosevelt because where did you go to school? Like junior high, elementary?
Eva was older.
Yeah, she was a year older than us.
Mine elementary, 5th grade.
Okay.
And then to the middle school.
And then to the middle school.
My parents, we grew up in Salt Lake.
Okay.
And then my grandpa bought a farm out here to retire.
Oh.
So east of
Mighton. So that's how your family ended up
east of Mighton, about 8 miles. We bought 80 acres and we started farming.
Right.
I loved it. I was 10 years old.
Was her brother Coy your age?
No, Eva was a year older than us. Coy was older than her.
Oh, Coy was older than her.
Yeah, Eva's the youngest in that family.
Okay.
But she was in she moved like ninth grade year. She ended up moving to Salt Lake, but her family's from here, the Murphys. She was Murphy.
Okay.
And so like Merlin, I think, is a cousin of hers.
Murphy Save More. I remember the old little...
They grew up in, do you know where Bruce Weatherston lives?
Yeah, that was her house.
That was their home.
Okay. But she moved, there's not a lot of people, unless you like knew Eva and her family, you probably didn't know her. But when she was in Anthem, Arizona, and she texted me and she's like, thinking about moving home and building a home, and what's it like there? And I'm like, move home. Move home. We need you as the softball coach, because I didn't want the coach to be her coach.
Did she involve herself in the younger?
Yes, so we actually, there's a little bit of drama going on there. I don't even want to get into it right now because I just am not. But she did actually start a softball team for my youngest daughter. Charlie was playing on her team because she has her daughter Reese, Eva's daughter Reese, I've babysat her for years. And so they're the same age. We started one. I say we because she did it, but I was part of it. As
the head coach of the high school, you want to be involved with all of it. And there's several different programs going on around the area.
I have some things to say, but it will probably piss off a lot of people if I say it. Really, seriously. But I will just say that
Nobody listens.
I know. Nobody listens to this. She ended up backing out of it because we live in a small town with people that think that they can do things better, right? And almost every coach, it sucks because you get ran off at some point no matter what you're doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, we have unavailable, who has 3-time state winning teams, right? And there's people like complaining about her too. Like they complain, and I'm like, she's bringing home state championships in volleyball.
Somebody's always going to complain. There's always going to be something. And so that's just what I don't envy any coach's job. I really do not. No. And I'm grateful that they come in and they try and teach our kids whatever it is. Yeah. I will say, Eva gave my daughter opportunities, and she got her places. She knows what she's talking about. And when I would get into some of these places and I'd start talking about, let me tell you what we noticed. With my daughter, I traveled with her. It was what she loved, so it was fine. Like, it wasn't like me forcing her to go. But I'm like, if you want your daughter to play college, you got to do some different things. And there's people who disagree with that, and that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Well, and I think that people who disagree with the coaches or really on, they need to get involved somehow.
Right.
Develop some sort of relationship there, because they don't have any clue how much time that coach is putting
in.
Exactly.
No clue.
And let me go this way, because I ref.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people that, yell at a ref.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I would never want to be a ref.
You can do it any better.
Hats off to you, buddy.
Right.
They need refs.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a football game I think it was the JV Union Uintah. And they actually had to just pull in 2 people from the community to come and ref because they didn't have any.
Do you think I can get in shape?
Oh, you totally could. And the thing is if you like it,
do it.
You totally you should.
Know the rules.
You should, but I'm actually more of, hey, those people who want to complain. Those are the people that need to go do it, because they need to get that side. And I think it's good.
Come on, ref!
It's good for coaches. It's really good for coaches. Like Matt Labram, he used to ref. Yeah. He reffed basketball and football, I think, when he was, I think it might have been when he was just out of college. Yeah. Or when he was in college. Anyways, and it gives you that other aspect of it. But that's, anyways, I deal with parents, and I'm like, hey, I'd love for you to come and ref. We need more refs, Come help me out. Come tell me what I'm doing wrong, so that I can do it better.
Right, yeah. And I don't have
a problem with that.
I've had beefs with refs before, but I don't like. I will like. There's a couple who I'm like, I can't. He's roughing again.
Aldemont, right?
There's one specific football ref. He does everything, but there's one that I'm like, I swear he hometowns us every time. We get hometown in our hometown.
You know what? I just from rubbing shoulders with them, I have to say they're doing the best they can.
They are.
And they're truthfully.
It's the parents.
Not biased. They're not biased.
My brother's a ref. Charlie, like he can do football, baseball, or maybe not.
Oh, is
football.
Charlie reffing?
Yeah,
Where's
he does
he at
basketball.
now?
He's in Blanding. He's a Utah Highway Patrol sergeant.
Oh.
Wow.
Nobody would. I know.
He's reffing down in Blanding.
Yeah.
He's definitely a hometown guy.
He is a hometown guy.
Hometown proud.
He's actually got a brother-in-law. His wife's from Blanding, but his brother-in-law moved out here and married a Burchell girl, and so they come out here quite a bit. But yeah,
I laugh at the hometown refs. These are hometown refs. I'm like,
you get hometown. I'm like bullshit. I get hometown. Union gets hometown in their hometown all the time. So you know what I mean? Like I get it. I actually love some of the people that ref. They're good friends of mine. So I'll give them shit, and then it'll be done. It's all
I haven't
done.
been to a game for a long time here.
I haven't either. Well, since softball was over. My kids are little, and maybe later I'll be able to go.
I did the football thing for years, and then the kids graduated, and then it was like, hey, you want to go see the bees?
Right. I'm like, and then for me, I'm like, I don't really have. I love all the teams. Like we were talking the other day, me and Uncle Judd. I pulled all my hats, my baseball hats off the shelf.
We need Uncle Judd on the podcast.
Maybe it should be called Uncle Judd. I'm just joking.
Uncle Judd doesn't talk a whole lot, though.
Oh, he's an Arnold. Are you freaking joking me? This is sarcasm right here.
I'll chat a little bit.
Uncle Judd. He's got sometimes a little too much to say.
I just need to start referring to him as Uncle Judd now.
Uncle Judd. I have a funny story about that too, but I don't need to keep talking. But we pulled down my baseball hats, and I was like, I have a Mets hat, I have Boston, I have an Angels hat, I have Yankees hat, and he's like, you need to throw that Yankees hat in the garbage. I'm like, why are you dissing on the Yankees? They've had good teams. I like the Yankees. I like the Mets. I like Boston. And Boston and Yankees, like people are like, nope.
You play fantasy baseball?
I don't. Do they have fantasy baseball?
They do.
I could probably actually really get into that. I like baseball the best. That's my favorite.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Fantasy baseball. People
I
who
can watch it, and then I fall asleep.
I prefer to watch it in person.
When I wake back up.
The difference between fantasy baseball and fantasy football, really idealistic. You can switch your roster one time a week. You can get in there 5 minutes, spend time, and you're going to do okay. Baseball, you've got to touch that thing every day.
Well, they play a lot of games, 160 games.
I mean, you think about it, there's a game going on every day, and you've got to be on that to make sure that your lineup looks good.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think it's a little bit different. You can only play a certain amount, so you want to make sure your pitchers you've only got a certain amount of pitchers during the whole. I don't know. I
just love baseball. Like baseball's and it's mostly because I want to play it. Like I grew up with like Charlie was my brother, and he was a total baseball fan, and I grew up him throwing balls to me that like took my mitt off and hit the fence, and I'd be like,
And you liked it still.
I loved it. I wished I could have played baseball. They didn't, because all girls had until like maybe our sophomore. Was there a sophomore or a freshman or just junior year? I think we finally got fast pitch softball. Yeah. But they didn't have it until then.
No, they didn't.
All we had was underhand, and I wanted to play baseball so bad.
Were you
I
good
wanted
enough
to play
to compete
football
with the boys?
I probably was. I was not bad. I was a pretty. I mean, what do you think? Like, Trent is also athletic. I'm going to give Trent some of the credit as well. But my kids are athletic because we're both really athletic people. Yeah. I just danced because that was the only thing that was really available for me. I'm short.
Oh, I hear you.
I can't play volleyball because I'm short. I love it, and I'll still play it.
Well, now they've got the libero.
Yeah, and I could have been maybe a setter too, right? Mm-hmm. I know that if I wanted to go any higher, I couldn't. But basketball, suck at basketball.
A lot
I
of the
freaking hate playing basketball.
White boys don't jump.
Right. I hate basketball.
You don't need to jump.
And I'm not a great jumper, but I was always quick. I can sprint. I'm quick. I love football, and I loved baseball. And I would... Well, if I could have played both of them...
I see all of it, because Marley was beast. Right. And I say that in a feminine way.
Right, but I get it. She was. Give it to her. Awesome. She was a beast.
She was fun to watch.
It's awesome.
Anyway, sorry. I hijacked the show with my kids. I am so sorry.
Oh, you're good.
It's good.
What do you have, Quinn?
What do I have?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
All right. So growing up here in the Basin, did you guys find that we were being sheltered from the realities of modern music?
Oh.
Modern music? No.
I think my mom tried. And I think, do you remember we didn't have anything but a country station for a long
105.9.
105.9.
105.9.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
moved from Salt Lake. I moved from Salt Lake. This is the reason why I asked the question.
Hold on, 105.9 wasn't always country. Do you remember
It wasn't, so it switched.
It was rock.
Yeah. And I remember when it switched
Me
because
too.
I was so angry.
I was too. I was
And I was like, what? Country? I hate country. And then...
I'm with you.
Hold on, let's call out old Clint Larson.
Clint Larson.
So Clint was a big Chris Ledoux fan.
I do like Chris Ledoux.
And for some reason, and Clint's like a brother. Like
we called him Captain Clitoris.
You did?
I mean,
I'm sorry, but...
Hey, this is your podcast.
I just got to call it out. He's not going to listen.
We're going to call him Dolores
might.
next time we talk to him.
But
If he does, maybe he'll get a chuckle.
he will. So Clint listened to, loved Chris. I can't even concentrate now. I forgot where we're at.
Okay, I love Chris Ledoux. The station changed. It was terrible. We were all pissed off.
Also, I learned to love
Dolores
Chris Ledoux.
came into the story. Okay.
Yeah, because we were here.
Have you
Sawyer
not watched
Brown,
Seinfeld?
Same time.
Oh,
Right?
Sawyer Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same time.
Yeah, that song came out. The race is on.
Yeah, but which is not his song.
Right.
It's,
He made it.
What? I did not know this.
It is.
the wife beater. He got Tom T. Jones. Jones.
Not Tom Hall.
Jones.
Jones.
George Jones.
George Jones.
George Jones. I'm like,
Jones, the wife beater.
that is his song?
Yeah.
I don't even know if
did
it's
not
his
know
song.
that.
I think he redid it
You're probably right.
from an earlier 1950 version.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that song. Like, it's one of my favorites.
Sawyer Brown.
That's right.
Sawyer Brown made it to a more of a rock sound, right? And that's why we loved it. But anyways,
No, I had a girlfriend in Vernal, and she's like, "Do you want to come to the Sawyer Brown concert?" And I was like, "Who's Sawyer Brown?"
Yeah, let's
really?
go.
Do you guys got Great White?
Great White's been to Vernal a couple of times.
I've seen Great White like 3 or 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so it was through liking, of course, Chris Ledoux, which is total country.
Right.
But then that's when I
remember too, though, like because my family's from Wayne County, and we went to Wayne County for the weekend, and which is like podunk nowhere, right? There, I couldn't kiss anybody in Wayne County because they were my cousins, right? I did find a couple I wasn't related to, I will admit to that. But we came home one weekend, and I was like, "You're joking? Like, you went from my music to country?" I boycotted music for a while. But my mom definitely was like, "Turn that off. You're not listening to it." And I was the girl going, "Guess what? I will listen to it if I want to." So I found my ways to get.
Okay, we did listen to some Ice-T when I was younger.
Did you?
That definitely was so. I can't say that we were sheltered at all. I mean, it was obviously secretly, not in front of Mom.
You didn't play that stuff in front of Mom.
Naughty by Nature is about the only rap that I got around my parents. Beastie Boys.
Right.
Yeah, Two Life Crew came out. We hid that.
Oh yeah. You didn't play that in front of your parents. No. I will say I am definitely the mom now that's guilty of playing like Tech 9 with my kids in the car. And I love Tech 9.
Do you have
I know.
This is what was bad when we were in junior high. What do you got?
I got Tech 9.
and not specifically music, because I'm thinking CDs, but you guys talked about maybe it was with Osler. He talked about the GOAT, or not the GOAT, but Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, we listened to that growing up.
Yeah.
So I had Pauly Shore.
Oh, I love Pauly too.
He was hilarious. You know what? You listen to him now and you're like, I don't know if he's that funny. Have you listened to? Yeah, it was hilarious when we were little.
Encino Man.
Yeah, I loved it.
Great.
I still can quote. That's my thing.
Parts of Encino Man.
I also have the Eddie Murphy Raw. Nobody knew that we were listening to.
Right. I remember the first time I listened to that, I was like, "Oh, I've never heard any because I come from a very straight-laced mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
Great people, very straight-laced. So
like,
when I heard a person talk like that, I was like, "Oh my gosh,
and
someone talks like this."
It made me tingle.
I was like, "This feels good."
My youngest brother, I think, was probably about 6, so I was probably about 10 Young Guns. You see
Young Guns? Young Guns 2.
No, the first one.
Oh, the one.
Hey.
The first one.
Yeah.
We would watch that one all the time.
Oh, we watched it.
We had it quoted word for word, but you'd have to leave out the F words.
Oh, yeah.
But we watched that one without my parents. I know.
They're not bad anymore. Nothing's bad anymore.
But in front of your parents. Anyways, we left them out. We would leave those out, but we watched that movie all the time.
I loved Young Guns. Young Guns 2 was one I can quote. I can still quote that one pretty well.
Did you see the excitement that first one?
That's the first one.
I know. That's where he's puking off the horse and getting high on peyote.
The second one I didn't think was as good.
Well, they never are, but that one was the one that was like pretty epic. Like the whole thing was Bon Jovi.
Oh, the Bon Jovi soundtrack.
It's going on.
The compressor's happening right now.
Oh, you got
to have it. I'm on days off.
Oh,
you're not
Friday
on call.
today.
Oh, yay! This is Friday. Yeah.
Which compressor?
It's probably Pleasant Valley. I'm not talking to him.
You're like, I'm not gonna answer
it. 10 days straight out there.
They can figure it out on their own.
I thought you were 8 days on, 6 days off.
Just started last week.
Oh, okay.
Well, 10 days ago.
You need to have a talk with Uncle Judd about how to ignore those phone calls, because that's one thing he does.
Oh, I know how to ignore them. I got 11 years.
We'll just ignore that. I'm on days off.
Sorry when your brother's the
problem,
Exactly.
The problem is
no joke.
They put me over water injection.
Oh. Were you not doing that before?
No, I'm a gas guy.
Oh.
So last week, I got 1 day.
Okay.
This is how the water works. Guess what? You're a facility guy. This is how the companies work now. You are a facility guy. You can run this. I have no idea.
So what sort of things do you do with water? Sorry,
They inject it back into the earth.
Right.
Or they send it in a pipeline back to a disposal.
So it's like you're in charge of the production water, right? Just to get rid of it, stuff like that.
My favorite.
Okay. Cool.
There's 2 of us out of that whole field now. There used to be 50.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of work.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's all piped now.
Yeah, it's all piped. Well, it's not the piped. For some reason, the oil fields, they make good money. But they don't want to give a whole bunch of other opportunities for people to get out there and get hired.
Right.
I don't understand. We haven't hired for years.
Right.
Well, maybe less losses. Less chance of a loss.
I think it got micromanaged over the years.
Sure.
Because we were doing really well and the money was there. So let's bring in a bunch of young people to analyze what we're doing wrong. That's how it works. And I talk to my kids about this all the time, and they're like, "You're right, Dad. We had no idea that that's the stuff we were doing, is analyzing you guys, because it was a project that we were supposed to work on."
Right.
And then, let's cut cost here, let's do this, and one guy can do this.
Absolutely.
Really?
And it happens all the time. Like, I've noticed that with, like, the engineers that get involved, and they're like, nope, cut this out, and then they don't.
21 years old.
And they have no idea, like, really what it takes. Like, they're just going, like, rationally, I can see that we need to cut this cost and this cost, so we're going to do this, and then they find out, well, you cut that, and now the production of your well isn't doing great, but you chose to cut all this stuff out.
Wouldn't you like the government to do some of that?
What do you mean?
No, the government, the more they get involved,
I'm saying, wouldn't you like someone to analyze theirs and say, you don't need all of these. Like, I look at this.
Can we get those 21-year-olds to analyze the government?
Okay, so
we need to. Actually, honestly, politics, in the sum, let's get rid of the old sons of bitches that are in there. Let's go back to the 40-year-olds and let them, 30, 40-year-olds, let them have fun.
Yep.
I think we'll be all right.
Well, I don't like career politicians anyway, but I'm looking at, let's just, for example, take the school district. You've got the school district, you've got all the teachers, and you need those, right? But sometimes I feel like we need more in the classroom and less up above.
Oh, there's always way too many chiefs.
Doesn't it seem like there's too much in the administration office that maybe you can cut a little bit there and move them down?
No.
I don't even get the way it works anymore. Like, I seriously am just going,
I don't understand how All of it.
Well, and that's why it's
I
important.
got 4 bosses and there'll be 2 workers.
Right.
It'd be
too many chiefs.
It'd have to be something you get
Can I say
involved in,
that?
right? You have to go.
Okay.
Donnie, you need to run for school board, right? And then
I've actually thought about it. If I had kids in the school, actually going to the public school right now, I probably would. Because there's so many things that I'm like, man, I'd like to have a say in this. And you get a mom that's this invested and get her in there, and I promise you, you're going to see some change.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do you got? Let's hear it.
Mark, did you ever think about being a DJ for X94?
Ooh.
It's the traveling to Vernal every day would be a difficult one. But,
I gotcha.
But I love talking to Charlie.
I was
So
wondering.
I've gone on with Charlie before and talked with him.
Have you?
Yeah, I've gone in their studio and done it.
You remember him on 103.5 in Salt Lake? KCPX? Yeah. The old school shit.
No, but Charlie cracks me up.
Yeah, okay.
Good time. We did a, what was it? It was like it was during the Uintah County Fair, and we did a judge.
Man,
He's really
it's a job now.
It was like a leg.
Oh, like a contest?
Yeah, like some sort of a
It was
contest.
a wet T-shirt
No,
contest.
it might as well have been.
In Vernal. Do they have Oktoberfest going on at the same time? Because I'm so in.
He'll go to wet T-shirt contest.
This was actually during the Roundup Rodeo, and I wish I could. What is his name? The clown that comes, the bullfighter.
Oh, I don't know. Does he have a name?
He's from Australia.
Oh, don't know.
His
Sorry.
Name has slipped my mind, and one of the listeners will remember.
You're going to hear about this in your comments.
But so funny. Well, him and I would crack up, and I would interview him all the time on 92.5. But I was judging with him and Charlie, and he was making. Anyways.
Inappropriate?
Inappropriate comments, but I couldn't even stop laughing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not gonna. This is like a Jason thing moment here.
No,
did
we're
you?
here.
Okay, because I was watching, just like talking to him about laughing and not being able to finish. I saw a story the other day. Somebody sent me like a whatever it is, reel. I'm sure it was a reel of a guy who's a news anchor, and he's starting to tell this story about a pig that was. It was an inspirational pig, and his name is Chris P. Bacon is his name. And he starts telling the story, and he starts laughing so hard that he's like, and he laughs like me. Sorry. When I start laughing, I get this, like, anyways, so I sent it to one of my really good friends, and she sent back to me, he laughs like you. I was like, you noticed. Somebody knows. Anyways, but so when you like get laughing, that is hard. When you're like, I can't even talk right now. I snorted the last time. That was embarrassing for me. I'm a snorter. I'm a snaffler. I snaffle.
I snore at night, so.
I think snorting when you laugh comes with age.
Oh, okay. Well, I did it when I was little.
You did?
It was so embarrassing to me. I am that girl. Like when I laugh, I love to laugh. Well, so
that's good.
If you wanna make me laugh,
Laughing and flirting. You should never lose it.
Okay, laughing and flirting. I was voted biggest flirt.
Yeah, flirting is not bad.
I did not think that I was a flirt, though. And I got voted biggest flirt. And I was like, was I a flirt? I hope that I was.
Just because you have a bubbly personality and you talk a lot.
You know what? I actually got along much better with the boys than I did the girls. I was just talking about
the girls found you as a threat because you were talking to all their boyfriends.
I don't know. But I
get along better with girls, too, so.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Hell with those guys. All right, Donnie. How is Conspiracy Highway after the fairs?
How are we after the fairs?
Yeah, I mean, are you got any projects coming up?
So,
are you burned out?
Sometimes summer does burn you out a little bit because you are going all summer long. But I'm not. I think now our biggest challenge now is that we've got to find musicians to like fill in the spots of like we lost our bass player Dante, and I know you play bass.
No, I don't play bass.
I play bass.
But
play tenor. Oh.
So like even like we're looking at like our lead guitarist, he would really rather play rhythm, and like So
that's the toughest thing. We lost our guitar player.
Right, and it's huge. And then our drummer, who we love, he works for Vernal PD. He doesn't have like a lot of his schedule is not flexible, and so he wants to play, but yet we're like, he's been out for a while. And then so we did find somebody to kind of fill in with him, and he's an awesome, like, he's super talented. This kid, I'm shouting out to him, and he knows this. He's never heard any of the songs, like any of the songs. I think even the Johnny Cash song, he was like, and it was, what do we sing? Folsom. We sing Folsom Prison, and he's like, we're like, you know Johnny Cash, right? And he's like,
Nope.
And I'm
He's a rocker.
no way. He is a metalhead, but he also does like his own stuff.
I got a son-in-law that is a musician right now.
Right.
Punk music his whole entire life. He's gifted.
Right.
Very gifted.
So is my Alex, and it's...
he's in the band in Salt Lake. But, you know, when you get to talking to him, and you're like, do you want to play some Pink Floyd and stuff like that? He's like,
I don't know it.
Well, the hard thing too is if they don't have a passion for it,
right? That's
really hard for them to commit to practicing, you know, every week.
And if they don't like the kind of music, Autumn and I love all kinds of music. So I'm like, let's learn a little bit of 90s. Let's learn a little bit of punk stuff. Let's learn some of, like, we know them obviously already.
This is me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's, like, because I want to
you heard our stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a lot. We did a couple country songs.
Right.
Mostly was 80s.
And we do a lot of country because that's kind of like... Well, Autumn came from Nashville, so she knows a lot of those, number one. But it was like, we want to, like, increase our genre, right? And so, right now...
increase your genre, you get more listeners that it piques their interest.
Right. And I also need to have... But like I said, our lead wants to do something like would rather play rhythm. We actually had a full band for a minute. Like, I say for a minute. But we had... Dante was there. We... had somebody that was playing rhythm. We had somebody, he could also play keys. He also played the sax. We had our lead. Are you a sax player?
Oh, I'm a sax player. I had a shirt that says, I'm your sax.
I'm saxy.
Do you really play the sax?
I do.
Hey, that's cool. I got a song for you. Jump in on it.
Can you do what's the one song? Tequila. Yeah, Careless Whisper. Have you ever seen the
with
clip
Kenny
of...
G?
No, it's not Kenny G. It's
I know which one you're talking about.
It's what's his name?
I have a high school education.
George Michael?
Yeah, George Michael. Careless Whisper. You know that song, right?
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever seen the clip of the guy that the sexy saxophone, and he just goes into some random restaurant and just starts, but he's just wearing like a banana hammock and.
Oh my gosh! No.
He shows up in
pull that off.
He shows up in. Oh, you could.
Yes, you could.
He shows up in the college class. He's sitting down and then.
Great Cornholio.
Professor's up there.
You have TP for my bunghole.
I have TP for my bunghole. You're threatening me?
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, here I come with the sax. You know.
I haven't played the sax for a few years, but I can throw it up.
That's cool.
You need to practice that. And just go do it.
The wine, the beer, the whiskey. That was,
you know what? We'll video you, and then we'll put it right here.
That would be fun.
That'd be fun.
Let's go do it in Walmart.
In a Speedo.
In a Speedo,
you just walk the aisles.
So
I'll film it as you get escorted out. But keep playing. Don't stop playing.
Don't. He's not going to escort out. I'm going to be there going, no, leave this guy here.
That's true.
And besides that, all the workers are somewhere else. They're doing something. I mean,
well, and how many people in Walmart look the same?
Right.
Yeah.
They're dressed the same.
We are the people of Walmart. Have you watched those videos? We are the people of Walmart.
I haven't heard that little jingle.
You haven't?
No, you haven't. You were going back to the 80s. We are the kids. We are the people.
We are the world.
Oh.
We are the children.
That makes me think of White Lion.
White Lion. Oh,
when the children cry.
Michael Jackson.
Michael
that was like the...
Yeah.
We are the ones to make a squishy mess between your toes.
I'm sorry. Okay, anyways, we're doing good, but we do have like a lot of stuff going on.
So you guys need to get a band together. Yeah.
I actually mentioned to Autumn, if you ever need a male vocalist, I'll come sing with
There
you
you
guys.
go.
yeah.
And she could do like that Venator, Lita Ford.
I actually love that.
I'll do the Aussie part, you do the Lita Ford.
Oh, dude, that would be so fun. That would be really fun. And our band, I love it. I do the harmony because Autumn, and she's like, I don't do anything but melody. She doesn't know how. So I take the harmonies parts all the time. That's all I ever get to sing anymore, which is fine.
You are Conspiracy Highway.
We are Conspiracy Highway.
I love the name.
It's
awesome.
fun. It really is way fun. Like I had somebody who was like, "You will not," and I'm like, "Whoa, chill out." Like we're not conspiracy, because everybody's like, it's all about the politics right now, right? That's what they think. Yeah. It's all about politics and your conspiracies there. Yeah, do we discuss those? Sometimes, yeah. Do we discuss? We discuss all of ours.
You know,
the Nazca lines, we get into all the stuff.
Conspiracies are there because people keep...
They're fun. I'm sorry, but they're fun.
Well, they are fun, but I'm saying they are there. Like, there are conspiracies going on because our government, somebody, well, if we want to really talk about this, but I mean, look at Pelosi. How much is she worth? And how much was she worth before she got in? And you're telling me you've what?
Yeah.
That is insider trading.
It's like, you know what? I can't do anything about it, so I walk away.
So conspiracies there. They're hiding stuff. I know, that's why we talk about it.
I love talking about, like, the Clinton body count. I'm like,
yeah, that's
I like talking about
body count. Ice-T.
A body count.
Body count.
Is that
body count?
Is that a song? I don't know that one. I don't know why.
It was Ice-T.
I probably don't know.
You guys didn't listen to Body Count?
90% of Ice-T
stuff. Cop Killer?
Yeah, no, that one.
Same album.
Same album.
Body Count.
See, he listened to the whole album. Yeah, that's how we discussed.
Yeah, I listened to it now and I was like, oh, that sucked.
Right. I know. I'm the same way. Like,
I thought the old rap was better than the new rap.
Well,
depends.
Man, is there an era of rap that you liked best?
I love Eminem. I love like the old, like there's the old rap that's just fun and cool, like Ice-T.
Now that let's be honest, that stuff's garbage.
Oh, it is, but is it not? But it's fun, right? And it brings back the memories.
You go back to Sir Mix-a-Lot,
right?
Sophomore year, everybody played hacky sack out in front of the high school. You know, Randy Gilbert with his speakers. You know, we're out there having a good time. This is school to us. You know what I mean?
Right. You put
Sir Mix-a-Lot, the greatest? No,
but he does have some catchy stuff.
It was so catchy stuff.
Was it Sir Mix-a-Lot that sang the Buttermilk Biscuits?
Yes. Buttermilk Biscuits.
And the Square Dance Rap. Rap.
Yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot has some catchy stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we had a good time. But, you know, I grew up through the era with DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
We do that one in our show sometimes.
And that's a different rap, right?
Right.
I was in 5th grade when it came out, though, and it was like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right. Yeah, and I love that one. I have that one memorized.
I do too.
I'm your worst nightmare, bitch.
I know. I have that, like, it starts playing, and
if you start playing it, then you can do it word for word, right?
I can, and same with, like, Vanilla Ice, obviously.
Vanilla Ice, 9th grade.
Oh, yeah. Every single, and you know what, though? Like we were talking last time, Chris Ness could do it?
No, Chris Ness is where I got that album.
Oh, gotcha.
Can I borrow that and record it? You know, that's how it was.
Can I make my burnt, mixtapes. Bohemian Rhapsody, though, like, you start that one going, and we talked about that last time, too. I can do word for word Bohemian Rhapsody. I loved Queen. Did
you know Queen until your sophomore year, though?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I knew them when I was... my mom has a recording of the
champions,
and We Will Rock You.
But I grew up with Queen.
But I never heard Bohemian Rhapsody until Wayne's World.
Yeah, same with you, because my dad is not going to listen to that kind of guy.
I have my oldest brother, 15 years older than me. He's listening to all that. I mean, he's just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pull the trigger, now he's dead.
How often now do you look at songs in movies and you're like, oh, I love that song, and your kids hear it and they go,
That's an old song.
I've never heard that. Now it becomes
a favorite. That just happened the other day with my daughter-in-law. She was like,
I love it.
This is a song in the 90s? And I was like,
look at Stranger Things. That's that new song, Down the Hill.
Yeah.
What is
Metallica stuff.
Yeah. Is it Sad But True or...
Sandman? I don't know. What is it? I don't know. I haven't watched the new season of that yet. I'm waiting because
it's Whom the Bell Tolls.
Whom the Bell Tolls.
Is that what it is?
Right. Yeah.
That's the song on, but then there's the other one. What's the Down the Hill?
Oh,
now,
you know which song I'm talking about.
Did you guys listen to Metallica?
She's from the '80s, and now they're playing it on the radio, and it probably had never gotten
Down the Hill.
What the heck is it called?
Oh, Google it. Did you guys listen to Metallica though?
Oh yeah.
Prior to the Black Album?
I did.
I don't know if I probably did a little bit.
Black Album, no.
So I did.
Right.
Orion and Battery and stuff like that.
Right.
Master of the Puppets was my album.
What you
8th and 9th grade, you know what I mean? And somebody gave it to me, and we were into Walkmans then.
Right. Yeah. And so that's what you listened to.
Yeah.
And see, and I think that it was going on because, like I said, I
could not get into Slayer then.
Right. And see, I don't really like Slayer.
It was too loud. It was too... Now you can probably... I was like, Slayer's awesome.
Well, and you know what, for me too, like I love all types of music, but sometimes some of that screaming stuff, I'm like, okay, maybe it's just me being old, but I'm like, okay, I've had enough of the screaming.
How do you feel about kids?
Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill.
Okay.
You've heard that song, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. But that one's from the 80s, and it was on Stranger Things, and my daughter's like, I love that song. But
why?
You're like, I grew up with that.
No, I had never even heard it in my life until Stranger Things. Did you?
I don't even know if I'd have to hear that song to know if I know it, to be honest.
Crank it. Do you want some Bluetooth?
You'll know it from the beginning.
Just put it there.
Can you hear that? Is it weird? You'll hear the first part.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I figured you'd nail it right from the beginning.
I don't know the words to it though. Like I'd have to hear it go. Sometimes for me it takes a minute.
Yeah.
Get it on there.
Do you want to feel how it feels?
Yes. Okay. I know. Okay. Yeah. But see, like
that was from the 80s.
Right. It's yeah, I agree. Like there's so many things that I'm like, there's so many songs, there's a lot of stuff.
Movies bring out the best in a song.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Chick flick, I have like my favorite. P.S. I Love You is one of my favorites, and I love the soundtrack to it. No, sorry. It is one of my favorites. I'm thinking of the wrong one. A Lot Like Love. And it's got Ashton Kutcher, and I can't think of her name. She was on The Whole 9 Yards. Anyway, I love her. I think she's hilarious. And I love her character in that. Well, that soundtrack was like, and it's a little bit punk and just all kind of all over the board. Oh, one of my favorite soundtracks, the one with the kid who was in Better Off Dead.
Oh!
John Cusack?
Yes.
Cusack.
Okay, what's the movie that he's in where he's...
I want my $2.
I love
$2. Oh, we quoted that right down the hall.
That's your... What do they call that? What do they call it?
Left.
What do they call that? It had a cult following, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it wasn't a great movie, but
we watched it every time we got together.
Another one that I love? The Burbs.
Oh, The Burbs is a great show too.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That one, and what's the one with the dead guy that they take everywhere?
Oh, Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, but what was I saying? Oh, what's that movie called? What's that movie with John Cusack? He's a hitman.
He's a hitman?
He's a hitman. That has a great soundtrack, and that's where I figured out that Vanilla Ice was actually David Bowie.
Well, it was Queen. Bowie. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's right. Because he was featured. Under Pressure. I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I remember my mom. She's like, oh, it's David Bowie, and you're like, wow, it's on the Queen album. Right. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. You can tell it's David Bowie with his voice, but
oh, absolutely. Like him too.
Well, I want to know what's movie you're talking about where John Cusack was a hit?
He was a hitman, and he goes back to his hometown, goes with a girl that's a radio DJ, and it had a great soundtrack. Like, I went out and bought that CD because of it. I was newly married, so it had to be like 95, 96.
Okay. I can see it.
It had a yellow, sorry, I can tell you what the CD looked like. Yellow, and it had a picture of him sitting on a park bench. John Cusack. Are you looking it up?
Yeah,
Mark will have this.
I'm not doing very good.
Oh, man.
And it was in the 90s?
I would say it was 90s, because I was not long out. I bought the CD. So, I had to be like, when I was still buying CDs, and
I bought the Empire Records CD.
So So this is the ones. I've got The Grifters, True Colors, Shadows and Fog, The Player, Hold on. That was a tongue twister. Bob Roberts.
I'm not even finding John Cusack. That is his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is his name, because that's not a picture of him.
Money for Nothing?
Nope.
I'm still in the
that
early
is
90s.
him. Holy cow, he's old now. Oh my gosh.
City Hall, Gross Point Blank?
Gross Point Blank.
Gross Point Blank.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
Oh, it was, I don't even know if the movie's good, but the soundtrack was awesome. There you go.
I'll look that one up now.
Okay, anyway.
How do you feel about kids these days thinking Guns N' Roses are a cover band?
Oh my gosh, they do?
Oh, yeah. I get it all the time.
But
you're like,
Guns N' Roses a cover band?
They put on the Spaghetti Incident, and it had a bunch of cover bands. They did do
Live and Let
some,
Die. Right.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
But who doesn't do some
Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton.
Yeah, they did the...
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Yeah, no.
Well, and they also did... Pleased to Meet You. Hope you guess my name. What the heck? The
Pleased to Meet You.
What is it called?
Hope you know my name. Oh, the Sympathy of the Devil.
Sympathy of the Devil.
Yep.
Yeah, so they did some covers.
They did covers. Every band does them.
Every band does them, though.
But their best songs are not covers.
Right.
No.
Why would they think that?
It is. It's like, oh man, they suck. They suck. They are cover band, and you're like, no.
There's nothing wrong with cover bands.
Axl
Some cover bands are great. Like I enjoy watching some cover bands. Like if they can pull it off and make it their own, I'm like all about it. I love it. I don't want to buy an album of somebody who's maybe just doing covers, but like if I'm going to the bar and they're doing covers, I'd rather go to the bar and watch a good cover band than have them do originals.
I will say, if you're a Grateful Dead fan, and I never was until after high school,
right?
My uncles always listened to it.
Right.
We'd go play horseshoes and stuff like that, and they'd be listening.
I never really liked them either. I don't know why.
Dedicated is a tribute band.
Oh.
And it has Four Non Blondes.
Oh, okay.
And all these people doing all the stuff the music that they put out, but in today's tradition.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's what I like about them. Yeah. When you can take it and make it yours and make it just as good. There's some songs that don't touch. Don't ever touch my Bohemian Rhapsody. Don't ever touch it.
I think it's really cool though when a band does take a song that you're like, that is a great song, and then they make it even better.
Right. There aren't a lot of people who can do that.
David Drain with Stained. Disturbed.
Which
Disturbed, and then he did Sound Silence.
Right.
Sound Silence was a good one.
Oh yeah.
I hated it first. It took me a little bit to jump in.
I think I immediately liked that one. Is there a band out there that broke up that you were extremely disappointed?
Do you really want me to admit to this?
Yeah, I do.
Here we go.
Is it New Kids on the Block?
Oh, fifth grade.
I was so sad. I really was. You guys, my walls were covered with. I was a big New Kids fan. Now I look at them and I'm like, it was fun. It was way fun. But, I was sad at the time. I'm trying to think if there's actually a real band.
I want to say it was in 4th grade or 5th grade. And Joanne Despain. Do you know Joanne?
Oh, I do.
I want to say she was on a plane and got an autograph.
Potter.
And I want to say it was...
Joanne Potter.
Yeah,
no.
She was Joanne Potter. Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
that was her maiden name.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
I want to say
shout out.
Yeah, that's a shout out to Joanna.
She listens.
I swear,
Joanna.
I swear she got a
Hold on.
autograph of some sort.
The best diner in the Basin.
Best diner.
Fort Minton.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Joanne, because she's actually got a hold of me before, and she's like, you never mentioned Fort Minton.
Oh.
Fort Minton.
Is it still open? It's not even open
People
anymore.
used to go there for breakfast all the time.
Best
Kelly
biscuits,
used to work there.
biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin's sister used to work there.
Yeah, I wish it was still open because I'd probably go there on Sundays.
Great burgers, man. You order in.
After sacrament meeting.
Need to go get some biscuits and gravy. I make a really mean biscuit and gravy.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anyways, no. So
I don't even know what I was saying.
You said,
Oh,
you said
bands
New
that
Kids
broke
on the
up.
Block.
Bands that broke up. Is there one that I'm super sad about? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to really think about it because, of course, New Kids, because they were like my boy band growing up. They were the original boy bands. But yeah, after that, I've got to really think. I was really sad when Garth Brooks became the weird guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But other than that,
Divorced his
well,
high school sweetheart, and then went to...
I love Trisha too, though.
What was it?
Yeah.
Gaines? Something Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines. He went to Chris Gaines, and I was like, what are you doing?
What the heck?
This is like the weird, and I even, because I love Garth
Did you
so
buy the
much,
Chris
I
Gaines
bought the
CD?
Chris Gaines CD. Have no idea where it ended up. Bought the CD.
Was it like his going through a mental or a complete breakdown?
He kind of talks about it somewhere. It's on the internet somewhere where he talks about that he really kind of was just like going through something at the time. So he like created this alternate
So then
character.
him and Trisha Yearwood hooked up, and then he came back to Garth Brooks.
Right.
So do you guys have Alexa or
yeah.
Siri in your house?
Yeah.
All right. I do too.
Yeah. They listen to you. Yeah. Yeah.
I love...
I think we've got one because every now and again it says something.
Oh, we use it for, we listen to
Creeps
Harry
me
Potter
out.
for bedtime every night.
I was ready for Mark. He's like, they're listening to us.
You know they are, because they're using this thing to
They
listen
can
to
have my
us too.
55-inch TV in there.
I don't care if they want to hear what I have to say.
Right, they know, they're tracking us anyway. Like, I'm like, you think they're shooting a tracking chip into you with the vaccine? You got your freaking tracking chip right here.
Yeah.
Doesn't,
You know what?
Right.
As long as it has my ATM card,
It doesn't matter to me. Just scan it. Do you know how often I use my wallet on my phone?
I get
All the
tracked by
time.
my wife
do too.
too, so
I know.
beep.
Hey, we're on that one as well. We got tracking going on.
tracking everybody.
His Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
I'm not hiding everything.
Die Hard, a
Yes,
Christmas movie. I
absolutely,
think.
Oh!
Yeah.
You guys rock, dude. That is a generational...
Right.
That is a Christmas
It's
movie.
the only, you watch it at Christmas time and it's...
How about
Daddy
Gremlins?
goes, ooh.
Yes.
I don't watch that one at Christmas time.
I haven't either.
watched
But
it.
is it a
yet.
Christmas?
Did it-
But is it a
Die Hard.
Christmas
Yeah, he
movie?
got it
Die
for
Hard.
Christmas. Yeah, I would say yeah.
Christmas movie.
Christmas movie.
Little horror Christmas movie.
Horror.
All right,
Forget-
tell me about your class you're teaching, Donnie.
Okay, so I actually teach really cool classes. I teach a healthy relationship conflict resolution class. They're available to the public, but it's all about communication, basically, is what it's about. And I love it. Like tonight, I just actually taught the class. Right now we have... there's one man in the class, which I made Uncle Judd take him my first round because I was like, I need people to come. I want to make sure that people are getting it out there. And now the word's getting out itself that how good it is, like for communication and talking to each other. And anyways, there's one man in this class and he is hilarious and he brings like all the thoughts that people want to say but don't dare say, right? Like here. And he just says it like it is, and the girls appreciate it, and we get like his vibe on it. But we talk about, so like we start about like safeties in relationship and the kind of safeties we need. And I'm not talking, obviously physical safety is one of them, but we need community safety, we need commitment safety, and we need emotional safety as well as that. There's 4 safeties that we have to have, and we like start on that, and then we start building, and we talking about like our decisions and making decisions in our life that actually are going to affect the satisfaction of our future, and how a lot of people in life don't even think about that, and they go with the momentum of life, right? Like, oh, hey, this is going, I might as well just go with it because that's what it is. And they don't think about how it's going to affect their satisfaction in life, and they end up in places where they don't want to be. So if you can look back on your life and say, I have no idea how I got here, you slid. You slid, and it's called sliding versus deciding. You didn't make a decision when it counted the most, and we go from that into like they're called the 7 principles of smart love, and how to like fall in love while you're actually infatuated, because nobody can get in a relationship with somebody. We're all infatuated at first, right? Yeah. But you don't get to know somebody when you're infatuated, because you're actually filling in those voids like of who they are with what you want it to be.
All right.
And you're not like getting to know them. So that's like another thing we touch on. And then we go to like knowing yourself. We take personality tests, and those are fun. And we get to know like our background history, and then we talk about our expectations and what expectations are. And then we move into like communication. And that's the biggest part that I think people are like, man, I could really use this in my life. And we talk about those danger signs that you look for: escalating conversations and negative interpretation and withdrawing, just all those things, right? There's 4 different ones. I know I'm probably boring you guys, but I love this stuff.
I'm a slider.
That's what we're
slip and slide it all my way to where I am now.
So there's 4 communication danger signs that if you're aware that they're going on, and most of us fall into like one of those categories. I teach ways how to exit out of those patterns, and also how to recognize if you have like an underlying issue or a hidden issue. You have people who like argue about the same thing over and over and over. You have that. We've all done that. Like, have you ever had a argument with somebody who you're like, I am so sick of having the same argument with you. I don't want to argue about this again. That's called spinning your wheels.
With my brother.
So he's spinning his wheels, right? So he obviously has like this hidden issue about something. And then like trivial triggers, we have avoiding again. I teach what to look for, and every single time, I think people get to week 4 and they're like, why didn't I have this when I was 18 years old when I really needed this? And I'm like, because when you're 18 years old, you're not going to listen to me. We are trying to like get some of it into like UB Tech, maybe like where they can try to... It's going to be the kids that probably want to take the class, right? And some adults.
You have to be ready. You have to be ready to take a class like that.
You do, but it's awesome. Like I said, I teach them free to the public right now. Anybody can come to them, and and I would seriously, like, I've got people who are getting married who are coming. I have people who are like maybe thinking about getting divorced that are coming. I've got people all over the board. I have a girl who came and she was like, we did the 7 principles of smart love, which it helps you. It gives you like the questions that you need to ask.
Do you have therapists that refer?
Yes. So yes.
That's awesome.
So, and most of the stuff I actually cover is stuff that a lot of therapists cover in therapy. But this is like actually implementing it and doing it instead of saying, why don't you try this? This is something this is actually implementing it and putting those practices into place. But it's like, I had one girl who was like, I got in the car. It was my very first date. And I got in and I said, okay, I have a list of questions I want to ask you. And I was like, did the date end? She's like, no, it went really big. But I was actually really happy because she was like, okay, this is something I don't want to waste any more time. She keeps saying, my picker's broken. I'm trying to fix it.
It's a little more interactive therapy, it sounds like.
It is. It's like
with a group of people.
I have to be very... I am education. I am not therapy, but it is. I am education. I do prevention and education. The whole goal for this is that we can possibly stop toxic relationships from getting violent, right? Because there's so much of that going on, and once people actually understand like where they are in their communication and what leads to the violence, and what we're teaching children, because our children learn and they do exactly what we did. That's how they learn. So I'm just trying to change some of those patterns.
They get into the same relationships.
They do. They do. We actually talk about it. We talk about infidelity. We talk about cheating. We talk about trust. We talk about forgiveness. No, assholes. It's really fun because it gets real too. It gets real. And I just ask them, I will never share anybody's names. I will share experiences, obviously, because I want people to know like what other people are going through. But I will never share names. It's all confidential. You come in and you end up with like the support group of people, and you are having a good kind, you're laughing, you're joking, you're talking about your problems, and you're not like fighting about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what's really cool, is watching these couples who are coming in and they're like, we're talking about it and we're kind of like fighting, and I'm irritated, but I can do it in a place where it actually feels safe, and it's great.
That's cool.
That's what they are.
My
It's called
16-year-old.
Within My Reach. Go
Within
ahead.
My Reach?
Yeah.
Where's it at? Where do you do it?
In Vernal, I do it at the library. In Roosevelt, I do it at the USU Community Room, which is, it's by Jones Paint Glass. It's behind Seeley, Aycock, and Miles. That office. It's behind that.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
So I do my Crazy Family podcast. Anyways, my daughter, my 16-year-old, called me today, and she's like, you should have Mom on.
But we don't want to go down that route.
No, I was like, yeah. I mean, that might be fun. Everybody wants to hear about that.
You can have her on?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, my mom. She's funny right now. She's got dementia.
Bring her on. I'm here.
Well, I think she must have said something too.
Oh, is she daughter. Like, I want to be on that show?
She's like,
he's never asking me.
I need to come on.
Me?
I'm like, that's a great one. My Crazy Family right there.
We got Mama
you got my
on board?
support, buddy. you definitely got my support on that. Anybody that's trying to get a podcast going right now, I think it's fun. Man.
I agree. Like, I think this is the
really, I only started this one. It's more for our family, and I thought, you know what? How fun is it to let my family hear?
You know, this is a great
and I'm talking
thing for your posterity. Yeah. Really, to be honest, like, if I can use that word, this is like things that your kids are going to hear. Your grandkids are going to be able to go listen to Grandpa back in the day.
Like, oh my good hell, I cannot believe
he just goes on and on.
It's awesome, though. Like, I would love to hear some of the stories that my grandparents had to tell, because
they're all
really crossed my mind, Donnie. I'm not gonna lie. Is like, when I die, at least you guys have something.
Right.
Well, that's what I like about Facebook and Instagram. Like, I'm like, we're documenting.
It's actually kind of like a journal, and that's what I did for a long time.
OnlyFans.
Look at what he was into.
Wow, Grandpa. What an example.
Entrepreneurship.
Archery season is still on.
Entrepreneurship, is that what you said?
Yeah, archery still.
Archery season. Do you hunt with bows?
No, I don't.
Oh, I don't either.
I need to. I'm a rifle hunter.
Yeah.
I've been for years, but what I want to do is get people to send in their hunt. You know, I mean, their pics and stuff like that, so we could share them.
So how did they send it to you? Just through
Facebook, Instagram?
Well, they can do it on Instagram. Email me, or you put it on our podcast, the group site that we have, Uintah Basement podcast. Cool. You know, we have a site.
On Facebook, or is it like an actual? Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm part of that.
Have you had any good posts yet?
Last year we went through a lot of it, and we're getting into that season, so I just want people to start sharing. Yeah, start sharing them so we can get them out there and post their pics.
I saw a nice 4x3 cross the road in front of me going down Ioka Lane the other day. Velvet, you know. That's what's cool, I think, with the archery, is a lot of them are still in the velvet.
Do you archery? No, I don't, but I have once, and I was like, I can't get into it, but I think I need to.
My cousin's
feels like a
my cousin was like a world champion archery.
Yeah.
Oh, is this Bart?
Yeah, Bart.
Yeah, because I taught his girls dance, and now they do archery.
Okay. And he's got 3, or is there 4? I think 4 that are going to be on scholarship at college.
Right.
3 of them are on the Olympic team.
That's cool.
Wow.
3 kids.
Of his kids? So like Tommy, Ryan.
Sorry, not his kids.
Oh, okay.
Their team. Because he's teaching.
They have a team.
His team in Vernal.
Yeah.
3 that are on the Olympic
That's really cool.
team.
I did know that they had that going on.
That's phenomenal.
Right.
I mean, you think about it, like, that's like a powerhouse of, you know, if you want to say football, compare it to football.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty.
There's a lot of opportunities like and stuff like that too that you don't really think about. Like girls golf, there's a lot of scholarships out there for girls that golf, but we don't have a lot of girl golfers. Like that's one thing I really want Charlie to maybe do. I'm like, why don't you go
now
to golf?
the big upcoming thing is girls wrestling.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
would have
girls
kicked
wrestling
ass
is-
at that. I kind of wish it would. I mean, Holly Yancey, she. Do you remember her?
Holly Yancey and
Shay, not Shay, Shannon.
Shannon
Schurz. Yeah. But I really probably would have been pretty good. I was a feisty little girl. Like, I don't think people knew how feisty I was.
You wanted to throw punches, though.
I probably would have. I didn't fight. I wasn't a fighter. I'm not a confrontational person, but I am feisty.
I ran into Sage Mortimer, and I got to ref her in when she was in high school. Do you know Sage?
This sounds familiar.
So she just took the Pan American Games.
Wow.
She got the gold in her weight, which I think it was like 50 kilograms. It's like 110 pounds.
Yeah.
So she will now, she's competing in college right now, and so the next time the Olympics come up, she'll go and try out for those. But my money's on her winning the gold.
That's cool.
In the Pan American Games, in the finals.
Yeah.
She went up against a girl. She was tough. That girl actually made the first shot, got in on Sage's leg. Sage pulled herself out of it, weaseled her way out, and stuck the girl in a cradle.
That's
in
cool.
37 seconds.
I will kick your ass in a leg wrestle. I will kick your ass.
I heard you. I heard you.
Did I say that? You know what? My nephew is 7 foot or 6'7", something like that, and he's like, "There's no way."
What do you do? Just come down on the crotch with him at the hill?
No, you know what? I'm just good. Like, I'm fast, I'm quick, and I have strong legs.
She knows how to do.
Even like by Marley.
She knows how to use them.
Made of muscle, and she was like, "I can't win my mom. I've tried. I can't do it. I flip her and like." Right now, I'm undefeated in the family. She is a solid muscle girl. Like, she's built. I have my mom bod now, and I was tinier than she was. Like, growing up, I was tinier than she was, but we were built the same. We have the muscle in the leg. I will kick your ass in a leg wrestle. I love it. And so I'm so competitive too.
I love it.
I am. It is what it is.
My favorite podcast with you was when you had the tribal members about the powwow dances. I had no idea.
That's pretty cool.
With Charles Denny.
Yeah, I had no idea that they were competing.
And I didn't know that either till he told me, and I was like, oh.
You should go watch Chuck. He's good.
That's awesome.
He's got some videos out there, I know.
Yeah.
I should get... Anyways, he sent...
I didn't know
awesome.
that they could... like.
I had no idea.
Right. I knew that, like, powwows, you know, that they do their dancing and stuff like that, but I didn't know that you could go and compete with it. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's went all over the world.
That's really cool.
Thank you for sharing that.
They're very well traveled, and they're like, the dancers are amazing. Like, they really are. Like, and just, like, learning about the whole thing.
He does the hoop dance, which is really cool. I've never...
Very rare.
Yeah, the hoop dance, I don't think so.
It's rare if you make your own
hoops.
Yeah.
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 Wow, really?
Yeah.
What do they make it out of?
Tamarack.
So they'll make it out of different stuff because of durability, right?
Yeah.
So that they'll last longer.
Cool.
But
and are these the ones that they're like throwing, right? I haven't watched.
They're hoops, and they'll work their way up to like 20 or whatever.
Right, I kind of remember that. Like, I remember seeing some hoop dancing.
Go YouTube it. I'm sure you can find it.
Cool. I'm going to.
All right, kokanee season is almost over for the year. Season ends September 10th and starts back November 30th.
Great. My kids are going to want to stop in Strawberry next time we go to
They're so
Salt
cool.
Lake.
They
really are
right
awesome.
now. They're spawning, and I mean, you got 3 to 4 pounders, and they're like football size. I mean, they're
huge. Really?
They get fat. And
Great,
just a
small.
bright red.
Oh, it's so cool looking. They're really pretty.
I remember the first time I saw that, and I was like, "The heck's going on over there?"
It's cool. I
love
tried
it.
catching them by hand, and they're like, "Oh no, don't touch them! It's illegal." And you're like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
When they're spawning.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's illegal. Don't grab them.
Okay.
They're dying, but
And don't. Oh, no. And also, prairie dog.
Also, please start sharing your fall recipes again.
Oh.
By popular
demand.
Yeah.
Fall recipes.
I can eat pumpkin spice stuff all year long, by the way. I know there's people who hate it.
I used to like the pumpkin spice coffee, but I tried it like not very long ago. I was like, oh, kind of gross
tacos.
now. What?
I like tacos.
Pumpkin spice tacos?
No, just regular tacos.
So I want to know what's considered a fall recipe, because I'm like, I cook the same stuff.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
Venisons.
I want to make my chili all year round because I love it.
Did you say venison?
Venison, yeah.
Because you're killing the deer in the fall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I just wonder, like, I eat the same stuff all year round.
You do the chili cook-off with the cornbread.
Oh,
never been to a chili cook-off.
That's usually a fall thing.
I have 100 episode coming up, but it's like 3 episodes. But
who do you have for the 100 booked?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I lost my co-host.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry.
So it's like
you have all of them back at the same time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You need to have like a round table that night.
I'm in.
Do it.
Should we get Osler in here?
Heck yeah, Osler, Tracy.
You need to do a chili cook-off that night too.
I have a Gunsmoke chili that I've given the recipe before.
I have a chili I would bring to.
Something you've perfected.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
You need to make this happen. You need to do a chili cook-off with all your guests. How many guests have you had though? You probably had a crap ton.
I'm 100 episodes, so there's a few.
Right.
And some of them, maybe we might.
You might not invite a couple of them, which is fine. It's fine.
They don't listen anymore.
I have no idea.
I tell you what, some of my funnest interviews, and I found this out early when I was on B92. I used to have my daughters on. They were hilarious. The things that would come out of their mouths, and a lot of it's my 16-year-old. She's 16 now. She was so funny when she was younger.
Right.
And so, of course, that's why I'm like, my crazy family, that's going to be my first episode is my daughters, because they are just so funny. I love my 13-year-old, but she tends to do things like eat the mic. And
I think I might have done that last time.
Hello, baby.
I didn't mean to, though.
When I say eat the mic, I mean like she tries to make different noises.
When I start getting these mics out, it tends to make some different noise.
Oh, really?
Oh.
You've tried out different stuff.
Yeah, I need to probably update one of these days. But these work.
I was checking to see what kind of mics you have.
He's messing with the mic. I'm not going to do that.
Sorry.
I got like a $400 mic right here. And it pulls up the neighbors.
Oh my gosh.
So these are funny.
Well, I did notice I heard myself swallow. I'm sorry if you heard me chew my gum, because I'm an old person now, and I take medication that I'm like, if I'm going to talk,
you're going to chew gum?
I have to. Well, it makes your mouth, it dries out your mouth. And so here I start talking, and I'm like, I can't talk. Anyway, sorry. I know you're going forever. Maybe it's just me, Quinn.
2 hours?
Yeah, I don't.
Are you kidding me? I need to go home.
You do.
I don't need to change water.
10 o'clock.
Jason.
And you know. Okay, I had a bunch of games to play, but.
Oh, dang. I always never get to play the games. Next time I come, let's start with the games, because I think they're fun.
We'll come back next Wednesday. Let's do this.
Next Wednesday.
You guys want to do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
I got board meeting again.
I'm not making you the co-host or anything, but what's the board meeting? What kind of board?
Oh, I'm on waterboard.
Waterboard, all right.
And what time is your waterboard?
Is that one of those that you put around your mouth and you're like, hey, I'm waterboarding you?
Moon Lake, and then next Wednesday's Dry Gulch.
You're popular.
Dry Gulch.
Popular as hell.
No, I'm a director.
For Dry Gulch?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
I have the water share.
In which class?
C.
Okay, I'm class D.
Can you hook me up?
Can you get him a few water shares?
You're probably going to be class.
Very hard here.
Out here, you're like class. Is this class E?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
I think this is class E out.
How do they classify them? Sorry, maybe this is a question for afterwards. Maybe, I don't know. What do you say? Okay.
These are the basic terms that everybody wants.
I want to know how they classify them, because I'm class C. That one is up on my bench.
So it's just your area.
Okay.
Right? Class A is like way upper country. Class B is like Bluebell.
Right.
You're Class C.
I'm Class C.
Class D is like Hancock Cove.
Right, okay.
Down through Roosevelt.
Okay.
Then you got E and F.
Right.
And I'm trying to remember. I think this is E, and then F's more up, like towards Neola.
Right.
And then over towards, I don't know.
Like La Pointe-ish.
Yeah, I think.
area,
And then you got K2, which comes down through like Cedar View all the way to Roosevelt.
That water stuff is like, you don't mess with the farmer's water.
No.
And
but
you don't go pull panels when you don't.
But they've got a bill out there, HB
Ditch rider.
168, I think, and it's an emergency. So supposedly, and obviously they're working through this, but like if the governor decided there was an emergency, he could pull water from the basin.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out the logistics of it, and of course we're fighting back, going.
Well, I found out living in Neola for 15 years that there was more shit talk between the farmers over water than anything else. I was like,
I have family ancestry that I think he was shot and killed over water.
Over water.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And also,
yeah, I get it.
Wow, that's
I'm
crazy.
sorry. I want to play the games next time. I never get to play the games.
when it comes to, we need to play games. That's all.
I write criteria, but if it doesn't go that way,
That's
I'm
fine.
fine with it. It's like
But sometimes I'm
we
like,
did good.
I'm a game girl. Like, I freaking bring
Do you
it on.
ever do an interview and you're
competitive.
like, how am I going to get through this? We might get 20 minutes.
Yeah, I have done a few, and that was some of the prerequisites. You'd be
That's why you
"Can
had to have
give me an
something on
hour?
hand."
Can you give me an hour? I
Right.
need somebody to talk for an hour. I have questions, but if we have those slow pauses, that's when I have my questions.
Right. That's when you need to have them.
Yeah.
Because it's so, when there's that awkward silence and you're like, well, we're doing a podcast now.
We've had people like Sling Blade in here. We've had people that fall asleep. Yeah, I reckon. All right, where can we find you guys?
Come
on, let's go.
Speaking of Sling Blade, I'm slinging insurance still, so.
Cool.
I mean, that's actually my real job.
Right.
With the Levitt Group, I'm in the building, I'm in Chapman's building.
Okay.
So obviously, our main office is 205 North Vernal Avenue. Their Levitt Group in Vernal, but I'm the Roosevelt branch.
Cool.
Remote. I work from home a lot of times, but
Kind of nice.
But my office is right there next to Stewart's.
Essential.
East. What is it? Oh, it's the west. It's the west part of the building.
Cool. That's kind of a cool building. Like, is it the one that's like right there on Highway 40?
Yeah.
And at the back of it, I'm like, this is kind of a cool looking building that you never even knew was there, and it's been there our whole life,
It's
right?
huge.
Right.
Once in my life,
It's got a
I've been in there.
full basement.
Right. It does.
Really?
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It is huge.
And like the back of it, I'm like, this is kind of nice. Anyway, sorry.
I don't even know if I've stared at the back of it.
I've seen it a couple times. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so
You're good. Where can we find you, Donnie?
Donnie also works from home, but you can find me on Facebook, Danielle Taylor Arnold. I'm on Instagram, Taylor _ EWM. I Conspiracy Highway Facebook page. We're on there, right?
OnlyFans?
Only Friends.
OnlyFans. All right.
That's gonna
Just
be.
to get it right.
I'm not on OnlyFans. Please do not look me up on there.
So if you want to find me on OnlyFans, I have my foot page. No.
I got my foot. I got my shoes. Did you know you can list shoes on eBay saying they were gently worn? Just fun fact for you.
I'll be damned.
So I'm still not quite understanding of this OnlyFans thing.
Me either.
Is this for another episode?
You don't know
wanna get on
OnlyFans?
No. Is it anybody that wants to make money that they strip? Is that what it
Pretty
is?
much. Like, you can do whatever.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want is
Hey,
available on there.
You have a
So-
foot fetish?
I'm going to
I do
explain
not.
this.
Gross.
During
No,
the
I'm saying
pandemic,
it'd be an only feet.
during the pandemic,
Feet. We want to do
strippers,
Only Friends.
you can go to strip clubs.
So that's why OnlyFans started up?
They started
Yes.
OnlyFans.
So that you can pay for it.
Yep.
It's like going and getting your
No
peep
COVID.
show at the strip club,
So do you
but
just-
you're doing it at home.
You just pay a little bit, like, for each episode?
Sometimes
yeah.
it's $3. I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't know. He's never done it.
I've done the cheap
Should
ones.
we do it?
It's a $3. Find us a cheap OnlyFans.
Right.
How cheap
I
can we
know,
go?
I know.
You make some money off it, that's great. There's a lot of people that make good money off of it.
Yeah.
There's women that make $1,500. Not guys.
I can't imagine a guy making anything. I mean,
I can't say I know her personally, but I know, like...
Roosevelt?
No. But, she was on Only... It wasn't... No. Please don't start that rumor, because they will... Donnie, you started this rumor about me, didn't you? Anyway, no. It's interesting. Yeah, whatever. If they like it, they like it. I don't care. Let them hear what they want.
Go to school with her.
That's the reason why I look at OnlyFans, is to see if I went to school with them.
Are there some people you know on there?
Oh, I know what I mean. I think I gotta check into it.
Look into it.
Pay the $10 to see if I know her.
It's like Facebook. It's a whole stupid...
you can, like, find them by their name. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, and then... subscribe to them, stuff like that.
Like their page.
View notifications, and you're like, oh, OnlyFans,
she's on
this, and you're like, oh, nice.
Fun. This was fun. Thanks
for the education.
All right, love you guys.
Okay.
I'm glad to have you guys. Episode 97. This is Uintah Basement. Spay and neuter your pets.
I can't do that yet. She needs to have babies first. Okay. But I will.
All right. It's just for fun.
This is the price.
Mainly for the cats.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for having us.
You're welcome. Welcome. Let's get out of here. How's that sound?
Gosh. I have to laugh because...